There we go. Go live. G'day there, Peanuts. We should now be live. What does that Turing test? Putting a link in my stream. What's that about? No, I don't like that one. It's only got 4x4. No. So how have you been, Alan? Hello, Alan. You there? Have I lost you? You still there? Can you hear me? Anyone? Hello. We're still out here in Zoom world. I can't hear anyone.
I'm here.
You're there. Okay, good. I was a bit worried there for a sec. Everyone went quiet. Must have nicked off. Well,
sorry, slipped off for a second.
It's okay. I just asked how you were and you went quiet.
Yeah, I just went to get some refreshment.
Yeah, good idea. Yes, so I was going to say, first of all, well done, Clive, for getting a clue before we started the show. You know, it's an extra 5-10 minutes I've got to make up somewhere else in the show now because of that. No Turing test, my link was not broken. It works fine at my end. Yeah, let me post it in again. There you go. Try that one. There you go. Not up to Lindsay Bingo. I don't think we want to start Lindsay straight up, do we?
No, not straight away. Let's start with something a little less.
A little less Lindsay-ish. I was going to say we could call up the RSPCA and make a rule that Paul's not allowed to watch Flat Earth content while he's in with the ducks, just in case they get kicked. Or something like that. Yes, we could do that. Ah, dear. Well, it's really quiet. I'm not sure where the farmers he was about, but he's probably a bit busy just at the moment. Yeah, we'll see if he calls in.
He might be preparing for his new job.
He could be. I think he starts on Monday, doesn't he? They're getting him pretty soon.
Yep.
As I said, I'm very, very quiet. Go on.
I thought he was at. I thought it was at the Wheel Place playing with Jack Panthers today.
Oh, that's right. But wasn't he all upset because they weren't going to let him take photos?
They weren't going to actually let him play or do anything. Yeah.
So yes, if it's really bad, we might hear from him later then. Oh well, I do have something I found. Has anyone watched? I doubt it. Flatzoid's 27 questions the Globe defenders can't answer.
In other words, we could probably answer all of them easily.
A question.
Yes. We won't watch all 1 hour 21 of it, but I thought we could go through and answer his questions as it goes. So let me just put that up so you guys can see it. Unfortunately, you might have to listen to some silly stuff that Flatzoid says. But okay, 27 questions. Is my camera on? Yeah, my camera's on, so you guys can see that. Is that clear enough? I'll make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Thanks for you. So I'll skip forward. So first question.
Hard job work on the masses. Well, I appreciate all the support, mate. Thank you for being here. And I'm glad you guys enjoy the show.
Okay, let me pick this up a bit.
The Globers are former Jeopardy contestants. They won't answer any of the 27 questions. I don't think so. Okay, so I think what we can do is with the 27 questions, we'll go through one by one, and we'll maybe explain it to them. How's that sound?
Yeah. There's no way we're going to understand him at that speed.
No. Sorry, you mean if I slow it down, you're going to understand him?
Well,
if I put it at normal speed.
At least I can understand the words.
The words.
Yeah, understanding him is not possible. I agree with
because, like I said, a lot of them aren't going to understand what the hell's going on. So, how the latitude lines work. It's simply just showing the apparent angular measurement away from Polaris, and that's how they get 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, and so forth. They don't understand that it's taken from an elevation angle that requires a 90-degree horizontal baseline. It's a complete triangle.
That's not my understanding. I know that's something he keeps pushing forward. But to do what he's doing, what happens when you get past the equator? How do you start working it out from then? That doesn't make any sense. Also,
you mean that point when you can't see Polaris anymore?
Yeah. You know, I think you can see Polaris at about, are you a little bit below the equator? Somewhere, what's about 20 degrees or something or other? You can still see Polaris, depending on what your elevation is.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a big mountain in Tanzania, I think it is, just south of the equator, that I think you should just about be able to see Polaris from the top of.
Yeah.
Well, you can, because refraction lifts it up about half a degree.
You said
right at the horizon.
I was going to say, it can't be far off the horizon. Not that I would know what to look for anyway, but
well, you look for the thing we call the Big Dipper.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go up from there, and then it's pretty easy, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, when a celestial object appears to you sitting right on the horizon, it's actually about a half degree above it.
Right.
Below it. I'm sorry.
Below it. Yeah.
About a half degree below it. So, yes, you can see Polaris slightly south of the equator.
Yeah.
The key word there is, of course, slightly.
Very slightly. Yeah.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
Half degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny that. G'day, George.
I think the mountain I referred to is about 2 degrees south, but it's sort of,
if you're high enough up. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
High enough up, yeah, of course.
I think also the thing that they... Go on, Blue.
Was it Flatzoid that I did that video on where he was looking the wrong damn direction?
Was that the one where they showed us a star trails and they weren't looking at the northern one at all? They're looking at the southern one or vice versa?
Yeah.
That's a while back, yeah. I don't know if that was Flatzoid, but it was, I remember the video. They were claiming something or other. It was completely wrong.
Were they rotating in the wrong direction as well?
Oh, I don't know. It was a still picture.
It was a static photo, and they claimed it to be from one thing, but you could work out from the mountains that they weren't looking in the direction they were claiming at all. It was completely opposite direction. Somehow it was proving something or other. I forget what it was proving at the time. Obviously, it wasn't.
Yeah, they were 8 degrees south of the equator and claiming to see.
That might be the vintage blue we watch. Yeah. Might be the vintage blue we watch next week. Next time, I'll track it down. But the thing that always gets me is that this concept of latitude line. It's like they decided that the worlds are good, and then they petitioned it out. That's how we get the latitude lines. And, it's not really star involved at all, would you say? You went from the North Pole. Aren't we the same? It's just exactly 90 degrees from north to the equator.
Yeah, well, I believe that when we developed the concept of latitude and longitude, we already knew the planet was a globe.
Yeah, well, clearly, because it's to create a spherical coordinate system, effectively. Well, I call it a spherical coordinate system, but a coordinate system based around a globe, so that you could nominate where you were.
Well,
and, you know.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't have come up with that if you would have thought the Earth was flat now, would you?
Yeah, why would you use that at all? It's like, it's just weird. You just say, okay, this is X and Y, and go with that.
Why is it 90 degrees, you nitwit? It's a fourth of a circle. That's why.
But I've seen
every time I've ever divided 360 by 4, I ended up with 90.
Yes.
Every
and the
time,
other thing,
never fails.
And it's this usual rubbish about not being able to do angles to a curved surface, which just irritates the hell out of me, because it's just a geometry. It's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It's something you can do with geometry.
And it's even in one of Euclid's books, isn't it? Not that I've ever read any of them.
Yeah, book 3.
Book probably. It might be something I'll have to do is start reading his books just so I know what's in them. I never bothered because I was told when I started doing geometry that, okay, all this stuff is, Euclid did all this, but we're just, these are all the rules. Use these rules to work out what you need to work out. It's not, you don't just do it for the sake of it.
Why use the archaic language?
Yeah.
Well, it's fascinating to read through it, but there are a lot easier ways to learn geometry.
Yeah.
There are. Yes.
Anyway, so, obviously, we know where that's going. Anyone who's watched Flatsoid would have seen his little mistaken line drawing where every angle's different and forms this weird curved shape which he has no way of describing properly. Doesn't fit into anything. So, what's his number 2? Number 2, go on, while I find it.
Latitude, and they're not derived anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a derivation. It's more of a proclamation.
Yes. Okay.
A definition, even.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
So, number 2.
Why, when demonstrated in real life, the shadows on a sphere are not what we observe when we look at the real moon?
Okay. Unpack that one.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
No, that's what I said. I thought, first of all, I thought, he's going to talk about crepuscular rays or something like that. But then, what's the moon got to do?
That's just literally a blatant lie. Because the shadows that we do observe by doing a demonstration on Earth are exactly what we see on the moon.
Well, they're also the shadows we see in real life are exactly what we observe. So it's like, okay, what we see is what we observe.
I was going to say, if I stick something in your Discord, Timbo.
Yeah, go for it.
You can then.
I can share it.
Hopefully, then you can get it up on the screen.
Yep, I can do that. Stick it up in general or in Steam chat. Doesn't matter.
I stuck it in the stream chat. Does that Does that not look like shadows on a sphere?
Hang on 2 seconds. I'll put that up so that you can see. There we go. I'll make that a bit bigger. So, yes, it does. I'm wondering whether he's going to say this is an eclipse thing. So, I haven't listened to this, so we'll see what he says.
Actually, there's 2 spheres on there because the other one isn't Venus like I thought it was.
The little one.
Seeing as that they were the only 2 celestial objects that were visible, it's actually Jupiter.
Is it? Okay.
Half an hour before sunrise.
Nice.
I suspect what he's talking about, Timbo, is the moon terminator illusion, where it doesn't seem to line up with the direction that the sun seems to be in. because they're not aware of how to think in 3 dimensions.
Oh, I'll see if he says.
This is very simple, guys. We actually had a Glober do demonstration where it took 2 spheres, and he places the one in front of the lights to have a shadow on the moon. And while the moon shadow did not, on the demonstration, did not show the same as what we see in actual observation of the real moon. So why is that? Why, when they do actual demonstrations, it doesn't support reality?
Because potentially the light source that they're using is too damn big.
Hmm.
You know,
Or too small.
From here, the sun is a pretty good point light source. You know, but
Yeah.
about half degree wide. But yeah, when you're doing demonstrations at Earth scale with balls and things, it's very difficult to get a small enough point light source far enough away to create the shadows. And also remember, we're in an atmosphere,
Yeah.
so
Which also
it,
changes it. Yeah.
slightly, not
Yeah.
a huge amount, but there is a slight change.
Hmm.
But
Well, when
it
you
will,
go outside when the sun is visible and you go outside and look at the moon and hold a ball up, it looks exactly like the moon does.
yes.
yeah.
I was going to say the best demonstrations I've seen of those sort of effects is actually using proper sunlight rather than trying to use some sort of artificial light. And if you can get a close approximation to scale, then you get something accurate. But when you don't have things to the correct scale, then you just don't get the right shadow. So
Yeah, you wouldn't expect to.
no, that's exactly. Oh, that's number 2, as I said. So yes, it's just someone did a demonstration and it wasn't what he said it should be. So therefore, that's number 2. That's not really nothing at all. Still number 2. Let's see if we can find number 3. Okay, number 3. Oh, it's still number 2. Okay.
We should see differences, correct? We shouldn't see differences. But again, yeah, I mean, they believe in gravity. So we can't take that away from them. And also, if you think about it, things go up. So therefore,
Well, that video of that Dr. Nose guy.
Dr. Nose.
Yeah. He's like a guy with science goggles on.
Oh, not those guys. I don't watch them. Idiots. How does your belief in gravity equal or nullify Earth's different motions and speed? What?
Well, they keep on saying that the Earth's going in all these different directions at once. I mean, they're incapable of adding vectors to come up with one final vector.
Yeah.
No, the Earth's only actually going in one direction with one speed at any one time, right?
Yeah.
Because if it was going in different directions at once, that's called an explosion.
Exactly. But it's like, they're trying to say, oh yeah, but it's traveling 1,000 miles at the equator, but it's only traveling such and such. Yeah, but that's just what the effect of spinning has on something, different radii.
If you take different reference points, of course you're going to get different velocities.
I don't know what gravity's got to do with it, though.
No, I don't either.
It's not really got much to do with the motions. I suppose arguably it's the whole, sun's gravity affecting on Earth's gravity affecting on Moon's gravity and the other planets all working together. But it's like you say, Paul, it's all just a big vector diagram, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I saw in some Discord chat somewhere, somebody getting all upset because he wanted he wanted to include the accelerations due to orbiting the galactic center, and and the accelerations due to, I don't know, Jupiter pulling on us, and all the other items in
Yeah,
the
they think
solar system.
Alan, because the distances are big, then the acceleration must be big, but it's completely the opposite.
Yeah, the further away the
Yes.
Because that r squared is on the bottom of the acceleration equation. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
What? You mean dividing by a big number makes a littler number?
Even when it's squared, hey?
It
Yeah.
makes that number even smaller. Yeah.
Well, yeah. In Earth's gravity, I mean, you do get variations depending on where the moon is and where you are with relation to the sun and
Yeah.
all of those
Absolutely.
things. In fact, we call there's an effect we attribute to that called tides.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose the fact that the Earth's crust undergoes tidal deformation
It does.
would really
does,
blow
yeah.
their tiny little minds.
Did I see, and this will blow their minds, that somewhere that because they've been pumping out of the aquifer in Europe, that's actually changing that part of Europe a little bit too, just slightly, very, very, very slightly, of course. But I'll have to look that one up a bit more. I only saw it as a bit of clickbait the other day. I'll have to follow up on that one. I'm sure it's something that I was going to say Professor Bill, but no.
That's the sort of thing you want to ask PhD Tony.
But yeah,
isn't it?
that's who I was thinking of. I just couldn't get his name. Yes, he'll probably know all about that one.
Dave Cannabis in the chat has an interesting observation about Flatzoid's posture.
Looking at, yes, could be a bit scary. Hopefully, it's not going to turn into that sort of channel. Do blurfers understand the difference between Globulus and Coriolis? Yeah, Globulus is a good explanation for flat earthers, and Coriolis is a natural effect of the spinning Earth. Would that be a good?
What the hell is globiolus?
Globiolus is not understanding science. I don't know who this word comes from, but I have heard it before. Let me see if I can track it down.
And why would you spell Coriolis with two S's?
Because they probably spelled it that way.
Oh dear.
That doesn't help it.
Paul, because we're dyslexic, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Well, the difference between globiolus and Coriolis is one's a made-up word and the other one's a misspelled. Duh, that's easy to answer that one.
Globiolus is in the Urban Dictionary. Observation, you can see that, can't you? Yeah, observation of intellectual deficiency, most commonly found in simple individuals who cannot grasp the intricacies of science and reality, leading them to misinterpret the world and believe it is flat. That's what the Urban Dictionary says.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
There you go.
As I said, and the funny thing is, Brian suffers from globiolus, apparently. The poor guy chooses to embarrass himself on YouTube, showing everyone that he can't understand simple concepts and Paul. Brian. So, I think...
Which Brian?
Any of them. This dictionary is, you can put your own the definitions in. It's a bit like a Wikipedia dictionary. So I don't know if that word appears anywhere else. Let's have a look. Let's just say it's not a globiolus, flat Earth. Silly font. That's of course flat Earth. So it looks like it's come out of flat Earth somewhere. I don't know what. I suspect it's a word that Flatzoid's made up. I don't know, or somebody in flat Earth's made up. So
Nope.
No, exactly.
First of all, Globies, would you be? This is going to be homework for you guys because I don't want to explain it. I want to see if you guys actually know the difference. Would any of you make a video or a response, or even coming on now, and explaining to us the difference between Globiolus and Coriolis? Because we know the difference. We just want to see if you know the difference. Hey, Geocentric Hip Hop, thank you for coming. You rock.
I think it's a made up word.
Here-
Move on.
because as far as we know, they claim straight curves, remember?
Yeah.
And level is synonymous with flat. So
Yeah, well, have we ever heard this
No, it's
argument
not.
before? I was going to say, whoops, wrong one. Do we need to go over this? I have a feeling.
Come on.
I have a feeling every one of us has gone over this one so many times. That I don't know where he gets the one from level. It's been straight because he obviously doesn't know the difference between straight and level. Anyway, I think what he's really means is trying to say it's horizontal, but
Yeah.
let's not correct him because.
Well, I mean, to show that he's wrong there, all we need to do is find one definition, only one definition, where level is not defined as straight.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Then we'll be up the creek.
Well, we can probably find about 1,000 of those.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not true. For a start, I don't think I even want to listen to his explanation of that one.
But we have but the Earth's atmosphere has a container. It's called
Gravity.
And
Exactly.
which natural law does it violate?
Exactly.
And can he name the other natural laws?
Well,
Can
number
you give me a
one,
list of natural laws?
could you think Flatzoid could define what gas pressure actually is?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yes, I don't think he could. What's pressure? Oh, pressure's a force. Is it? Is it really?
Yeah, it's a force per unit area.
So
all
if
you need two things. You need gas and a surface. It doesn't even have to be a physical surface. Just a notional surface will be good.
You don't even need to have a surface, Blue.
Right.
All you need is a unit area, because
Right,
you can
that's
take
right.
that unit area in the middle of a gas volume and define it as the momentum flux in one direction through that unit area.
Precisely.
Yeah. So you don't even need a solid surface.
Yeah, that's I use the term notional area, but that's what I meant. You don't need a physical surface.
No. But we've also seen gases sit in an open tank without a lid or cylinder or all sorts of ways you can have gas without.
Well, then they claim the walls of the containment it's sitting in.
Creates the pressure.
What's holding it in at the top?
Yeah, that's the
Uh-oh.
that's the thing. That's the point of without a container. It's if it's contained, that's probably where they're trying to argue that. But yes, as you say, what's holding it in the top? What's forming the last part of the container? So nothing.
Of course, the other thing.
Go on.
You think an
I'll say
open
the
top?
other thing, Alpha,
You think an open top
Go on, Blue.
bucket is a good container? Let me ship you an open top bucket full of bumblebees, and you tell me how well that works out for you.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you have a tangent if all lines are bent thanks to refraction? You know you can have tangent of two curves. You couldn't you?
yes.
Yes, Two curves can be tangent
They
To
can
each
be.
other.
to each other.
So
Sure.
where's the problem with that?
If they're touching at one point,
Then
It's
they're
a tangent.
they're
Yeah.
tangent.
I know that's not what he's talking about, but you could. It doesn't. His question doesn't make any sense because even if there was a curved line due to refraction, it could still be tangential to the other curve. But I think I'm not going to do the audio on that one. It's just ridiculous. Just shows he's misunderstanding the maths like the rest of them. Wonder if we get. We're only halfway through. We're already up to 8. I wonder if we'll make it. Oh, did I miss that one?
How many are there, Timbo?
27. Supposedly.
Perhaps you should just go through maybe half of them.
Yeah, I don't know if we get. As I said, we're halfway through the video and we're up to 8. So I don't think we're going to get all 27 anyway. We'll speed it up. Okay, what are we up to? 9. What's 9? Come on, catch up. Come on. Why do astronauts require snorkels in a vacuum? Well, they don't. That's just a lie. Matt would love that one.
Snorkels in a vacuum.
What did it do if there's a leak on the ISS? Fix it?
Stick your thumb over it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they just fix it? Do you think he's got
Yeah.
some idea that, it would tear the ISS apart? There's a pressure difference, isn't that?
I mean, it's not like 14.5 psi differential through a tiny little hole is going to be that bad, is it?
No.
And
Watching too many movies, I
Yeah.
think that one. Yeah, what's
I'm
he got
sure
here?
I'm sure they have something as thin as a can that could just be slopped on it. And,
I bet you they've putting this under pressure and then
Well,
watching it explode.
for a hole up to say a centimeter in diameter, I feel very safe in saying that all you need is a piece of duct tape.
I was going to say the same thing, Lou. Yeah.
So, not that has anything to do with the shape of the Earth, but so this is all space denying stuff. We got past that yet? Still on that, cripes. Still on that. Move on. There we go. What's this one? Why do you need to fake the ISS and space footage if... Well, they don't. That's just
Yeah.
stupid. That one was just a waste of time. So much a waste of time, it only took a minute to get over the next one. Fake.
Oh, jeez.
Fake. Ooh, what are we up to?
Yeah, there was something about gravity back there.
Was it?
What is the
What
cause
is the
of
cause
gravity?
of gravity? Well, that's the question, isn't it? We have answers for that, but
Mm-hmm.
if you want to come up with different answers,
we have
that's fine. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, we have some answers for it, don't we? Yeah, we're kind of getting there, but what did they say? Needs more work.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they get wrong, is this idea that, Newton, suddenly says, oh, I've invented things falling down. No. The whole point is, he says, I thought this is why things fall down. And they're calling that gravity.
Newton was more about describing how things fell down.
Yeah. Why do they fall to the earth and not, shoot across up into space or do whatever? So,
To be honest, I think they forget that we've actually learnt a lot more since Newton.
yes, that was how long ago was Newton? A few hundred years ago now. Why is it
400 years.
Yeah. Why is there no scientific hypothesis for gravity if it's claimed to be scientific? What?
Wow. There are a lot of hypotheses for gravity.
Yes, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you got quantum loop gravity. You've got other sorts of gravity. You've got the, T Hooft's theory of gravity. No, not T Hooft. I can't think of his name now. The Dutch guy. That'll come to me eventually.
I mean, but initially,
yeah, you got a lot of them that and the idea is that we're trying to test all these things as MOND, all sorts of different theories of gravity, and then they're all being tested and checked out.
but isn't Newton's original mass attracts mass a hypothesis?
Newton didn't make any attempt to explain what caused it.
Oh, didn't he? So who was the first to come up with mass versus mass then? Before it moved on.
Well, that's not an explanation. That's an observation of what it
Yeah,
does.
I mean, so observation, but yeah, fair enough. I know Cavendish was a pretty.
Newton
famous
described the
for their-
effects of it quite adequately, and we use it to this day and always will. It's very simple, easy to
enough.
use.
Definitely enough for our frame. Reference frame.
Einstein showed up and explained how space-time and the deformation of space-time by mass results in a completely different thought about what's really happening. But it doesn't change what we observe.
No, that's right.
Exactly. That's why Newton's stuff still works.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. Eric Verlinde, the emergent theory of gravity, or entropic gravity. That's another completely different theory of gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd still love to know why mass does what it does.
Yeah.
And one day maybe we'll figure it out. I think somebody will.
Okay.
Eventually.
Yeah.
It's not all that important right now.
No, it's one of those things that someone will get a Nobel Prize for working it out, but it won't change the fact that it still does it. Which is what I think they get wrong about that. So what's his next one? I was going to say M-Ball. They're you can't go Flurf 101. They all get told of this stuff, so they just forget it.
Yeah.
Why can't you validate Earth's rotation scientifically? What?
Who says we can't?
He says, but that's because he doesn't understand it. I think that goes back to his other silly thing about not understanding how gravity affects on all the masses to come up with the vector diagram. That's just silly.
Well, of course, now we should just scream Coriolis, shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's right. That's one of many. Why no stellar parallax? I mean,
But there is.
But I was going to say there is, isn't there? I was going to say, you just need something. You just need better instruments to measure it.
Yeah.
So you can measure star
There's a lot.
parallax with a fairly reasonable telescope. My understanding. I haven't done it, but that's my understanding.
Well, yeah, that's a way to figure out how far away stars are that are fairly near us. Now, once you get out, I don't know what the number is. Paul maybe knows.
What's that?
You try using stellar parallax to find the distance to a star that's say 1,000 light years away. You're not going to get a very accurate answer.
No, you're not, because you can't measure angles that accurately.
Right.
Yeah.
But if a star is a few hundred light years away, yeah, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that there's it's just there's its limitations. Don't think it
If the Earth's orbit was maybe larger, we could do it more accurately, but it's not.
No. That's just a stupid. Isolate some pure gravity. What do you think it is? A liquid?
Pure gravity. Yeah.
Fletcher wants like a box full
Bucket of it. Yeah.
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 I mean, that's like saying, Timbo, why do we spend so much money creating perfect vacuums here on Earth? Why can't we just go up to space and bring some back?
Zach, yeah. Go up there with a bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring a shuttle full of vacuum back, just divide it up amongst the scientists that need it.
Next to be wanting a cylinder full of magnetism.
Yeah.
Or something.
A bucket full of magnetism.
Yeah, bucket, yeah. Or some can we email him some electricity? It's just silly. These are getting sillier. I know. Can you define apparent?
And you what?
Can you define apparent?
Yeah, that's like mum and dad.
Yeah. Appears to be. Would that be? This appears to be this or that, or this is it's not that hard a word, is it? Oh, Embol's starting a vacuum mining company. He's gonna
vacuum mining company. Yeah. All you got to do is get rid of all the other shit that's there, so you can get to the vacuum.
You can get pure clean vacuum, not this stuff with floating junk space. Yeah. For space junk.
Yeah, to find the vacuum, you've got to get rid of all the other stuff.
Can you define apparent? What stupid question is that? What is perspective? Just as stupid.
That reminds me, there was a post, I can't remember where I saw it now, whether it was in Gems or somewhere else. Some flat earther said that they can define what perspective is, just things getting further away, they said.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't think that quite cuts it, really.
Yeah.
I still think that scene from what's that show? You know, talking to brother. Was it Father Ted? You know.
Yeah.
That's the best explanation for perspective. This is small. The cows out there are far away. That's pretty much it.
What is funny is if you talk to a visual artist, like a photographer or somebody who paints or sketches, they will probably both have different takes on perspective as far as it applies to their art.
I don't think they would. I think they would. This is who's done a lot of art myself. I don't. They would use a different perspective in their art, but I don't think they would define perspective differently. That's depending, of course, what their education, art education.
Yeah, sorry.
is.
I suppose I should have said have a different perspective on looking at perspective.
Yes.
I found the actual post.
Oh, did you?
It was in Doof Manoof posted it today at 11:29 in Gem's server. That's our time here, right? Yeah. And it says things get farther as they move away.
It's even worse.
Even worse, yeah.
Doofus Manfred's been posting that around quite a few of the anti-flat Earth discords, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But I can't remember who the flurf was that actually said it.
Venix.
Venix.
Venix. Yeah, if you go to Gems, if you go into Gems and you go to the search thing, you type in perspective, it comes straight up. It's the first one.
So, can you difference between optical and physical? Well, you can, but funny enough, you have to be able to see things when you're trying to measure them, generally. Most things, even... I'm trying to think of a way of measuring something without at some point using something optical. So if you blindfolded yourself and got out a tape measure and measured the length of a table, you're still going to have to take the blindfold off at some point and read the numbers on the tape measure. No?
You just use a tape. No, you just use a tape measure marked up in braille.
I suppose you could do that. It's not going to change the measure. but-
I'm absolutely certain you can buy a tape measure marked up in braille because, you know, it's a fairly large community and they would have that sort of stuff.
I suppose that's one way you could do it, yeah.
I mean, it seems to be confused about this word optical and physical. I mean, optics is the field of study of things that affect the direction that light travels in. You know, like mirrors and lenses and all sorts of other things.
I think they're just...
Yes, well, Fletzoid, pay attention now. Optical.
Yeah, of course. I shouldn't be beating myself up about wondering why he's not understanding, right?
Yeah. Optical, Fletzoid, is you seeing my fist coming toward your face. Physical is you feeling the impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they think it's some sort of out that, you're not actually, you're only seeing with your eyes and it's what your eyes interpret. It's just, yeah, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It's some sort of out.
Paul, can I ask you a quick question? As you know, as somebody who would know the answer to this, where is the difference drawn between visible electromagnetic radiation that we can see, that we call light, and the rest of the RF spectrum? And when does it stop getting called optical?
That's a pretty ambiguous question, Alan. I don't think there is any well-defined boundary for that, because there are some people, believe it or not, that can actually see parts of the spectrum that the rest of us can't see. So it's a bit blurry as to what that definition is. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule for what we classify as the visible spectrum. I mean, all that you have to be able to do to classify it as visible spectrum is see it, right?
Yeah.
So just
I believe there are some people who have receptors that are almost UV
probably
sensitive.
Well, there's all sorts of people different. I mean, you see people who can do sonic range finding, like some blind people who learn to be able to see by making noises and have it bounce off, and actually, can know where things are by that. So,
well, it's still not seeing.
It's not seeing, but it's what I'm saying is that
it's range finding. It's not seeing. Yeah.
Yes. But it's anyway. Getting back to what I'm saying is that everybody's different and their abilities change. You know, visual acuity is some people can see the dot on the horizon and say, "Oh yeah, that's a such and such ship," and the other people say, "What dot?" I was going to say Clive X maps too, but I think I understand what you're saying now. Okay, what's the next? We're almost done, I think. So let's see what other thing he's got. How can we live on a globe if chemistry states that all liquids have a flat top surface despite taking the shape of the container? Where does chemistry say that? Does chemistry say that, Paul? You would be the answer. Could answer.
Oh, what was this? How can we live on a globe if chemistry states that all liquids have a flat top surface? Chemistry doesn't state that at all.
No, that's what.
Where in chemistry is that stated? I'd love him to show me a textbook where that's stated. I mean, one of the first things you learn in chemistry at friggin' lower high school level is how to read the liquid surface in a measuring cylinder by taking account of the curved surface of the liquid called the meniscus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Fletzoid say meniscus. That's what Turing test said. Can Fletzoid say meniscus? Yeah, so he's there.
Turing test 2 is asking for some isolated North Poles. Well, that's easy. All you've got to do is go to the north of Poland and take a few people and put them on their own, and you've got
that'd be very isolated. Isn't the North Pole a candy cane? Isn't the North Pole a candy cane with black and white? Because I mean that's what kept showing every time I saw it when I was a kid. Big candy cane sitting in space. Go on, Alan.
Sorry, my brain was short circuiting, and I actually I went and answered the question that I was reading on the screen out loud.
Well,
Sorry.
you can answer that one. That's fine. We all know the answer,
Well,
but
you
you can answer it.
You generally don't. You see it early evening and late morning. You see it in the evening and the morning.
Yes, when it's
You
on
don't
the
really
other,
see it at night very much.
and usually
mean,
when it's on the other side of the sun to us. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the key is in the description of the question there. I mean, it's closer to the sun, but it's not at the sun, right?
No.
So it still is some distance away from the sun, which means that we can have the sun below the horizon while still having Venus above the horizon.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Venus has phases, doesn't it? Just
It
like the
does.
moon.
Yeah.
So, according to Flatside, all the planets travel around the sun at the same speed in a nice line. You know. So they travel around different speeds. So yes, I'm sure someone's shown him that. Surely he can't have got through life in this community and not been shown how that works. Why do you still think you live on a ball? Well, that's because it's obviously a ball. That's an easy one. Hang on. Next one. Why do stars remain the same over 1,000 years if Earth and solar system are moving? Well, they don't, but it's that same thing of, the mountains way off in the distance don't seem to move as much as the things right next to us. Doesn't mean we're not moving.
Especially as a vast majority of the stars that we can see are also moving with us.
Yes. The ones that are closer. Yeah, again.
Yeah, like anything that's in our galaxy is going around the center of the galaxy with us.
How can we satellites at night if they're in Earth's shadow?
Because they aren't
You
always
can't.
in Earth's shadow.
So they're always in Earth's shadow, and sometimes they're, above Earth's shadow. Sometimes they're so far away that, they're never in Earth's shadow. Okay, number 26. Where's all the space junk? In space.
Yeah. But remember, space is big. Or should we say, Earth is big, space is bigger.
It's like
Space big, Jeff little.
I mean, put it this way: if you looked for junk, like as in human-made junk, there are huge areas where you don't see any junk at all, and space is even further away, and there's less space junk than there is Earth junk. Why would you expect to see space junk all the time?
Yeah. Do you know what? There's a radar in Yorkshire that tracks space junk
Yeah.
and
I think
satellites and everything else because
NORAD does the same.
Well, it's the ballistic missile early warning system radar, and they have to track all the space stuff that's going to come through that radar, so that they can recognise something that's different.
Yep.
Because that's the stuff you need to worry about, and it's now to the point that they actually feed the data from all of those radar systems into a project run by ESA, tracking all the stuff that's up there.
Well, of course, they track as best they can. Obviously, they can't get everything, but the bits that are big enough for them to see. Yes, I like Nerd Alert pointing out Gary Wybenga's the Rayleigh set was wrong about the Rayleigh criterion. Yeah, that'd be just. Yeah. Yes. Well, that sort of says a lot, doesn't it? Hey, Brian, how you going? Well, that was all 26 questions. I
There
didn't
you
have to
go.
listen. Didn't have to listen to much of it. And they
You
just
said there's
yes.
27 questions.
Oh, okay, could be. Do you really want me to find the last one? Okay, let's find the last one.
Might as well. since
Before I
we're
show
there.
it, how many do you think it's going to be as silly as the last one? Let's see. Here it
Guaranteed.
is. Okay, here we go. Come on. Even the internet doesn't want to show it. Why no pictures of airplanes from the ISS or satellites?
There are.
There? I was going to
Yeah.
That's like, okay. Have you looked? Let me see. Picture. Well, I know there's definitely pictures of satellites from the because they launched them from the ISS in some cases. So, pictures of planes from ISS. Wonder if we see anything come up. There's a picture of a boat. Don't know. I was supposed to investigate that one. Oh, there's pictures of whole cities from the ISS. Does that count? I'll have to look that one up later. I'm sure there'll be one. Okay, Paul. I think we need to do something a bit different. Do you want to do your first quiz now?
All right. We can do that.
Well, it's either that or we could do Lindsay.
Well, it's up to you.
I was going
Do you want to
say
destroy
no.
your brain cells before
I
you?
was going to say all those who want to have Lindsay, say so now. You've got 3 seconds. Oh, no responses. Okay, Paul. Looks like we're doing your
That was a very quick 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, it's probably about what it's probably less than.
I can do that. Let me rearrange things on my.
Let me switch back.
Where am I?
Where am I? Oh, that's not you. Where's Zoom? Let's put there we go.
I've got to shift some things around screens here.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right.
How about I put on a I've got a down here. I've got an Everett. We're going to do an Everett while you switch things around.
Those of you who think it's crazy that flat earthers think the earth is flat, we don't think the earth is flat. We know it
this
is.
guy last week.
Can you help us? Our planet was taken over by some kind of entity. It absorbed the minds of our people.
We didn't notice it until it was too late. The people it takes over, they look like your friends, your family, your leaders, but they're not themselves anymore.
Tomorrow it'll be almost a full moon in a blue sky. That's an impossibility on the heliocentric nonsense delusion hypothesis.
Wow, how is the weather in the land of the big time stupid?
You would not see an almost full moon in a blue sky if the sun were huge and 93 million miles behind the moon.
You really are a massive bonehead.
It would be
You
true.
see a
if it was
tiny
behind
sliver
them.
of the moon, or maybe a tiny bit more, or none of it even.
Get lost. I'd say don't quit your day job, but you're awful at that, too.
We're trying our best.
Your best is an idiot. Let's pick it up, people. So far, it's been crap after crap.
It's ridiculous to look at what we see with our own eyes and then trust what we were told.
Oh, sorry, Clive. You haven't missed anything, but yes, I'll put it out. And see, sometimes I forget that what I can see, you can't see.
I didn't like to say we couldn't see it in here either, but
Well, if you can't see it in here, they can't see it out there. So if that happens, just let me know. Because whatever comes out on my camera is what's going out to the feed. So
Taught by the government indoctrination camps about the earth and astronomy.
One must be brave, very brave, to bear the calumnies of life. Here, barman. This crocodile has lost its croc.
Some people want to say, well, come on, dude, this flat earth is so stupid. We've known that the earth is a sphere for 2,000 years. No, we haven't.
Hello?
Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with fly thing.
All of the ancient cultures depicted the Earth as flat and stationary, with the sky over us like a dome, like the whole entire Earth system was an enclosed system through all the depictions of the Earth from the ancient cosmologies.
I prefer the Japanese one, which is that the Earth is sitting on top of a big cup.
Got half a mind.
Oh, don't flatter yourself.
That's it! Where's my club, Wilma?
The entire heliocentric nonsense in history, if you can even trust the historical narrative of the government scriptures, it's only been going for 150 or 200 years.
We have sort of a problem here.
Yeah.
Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah, I have the memo right here. I just forgot.
We honestly don't know what year it is. You think it's the year 2023. What if it's the year 1023 or 1223?
All right, Kitty, don't panic. You know what to do.
But it's certainly not the year 2023 with a bunch of pathetic little primitive humans that lived 500 years ago that built unbelievable, amazing structures everywhere across the surface of our flat Earth.
The next question for us is where to build our factory.
How about Fantasyland?
There was another civilization here, probably not too long ago, within the last 400 or 500 years, it seems to be, that knew so much more about our enclosed Earth and how things work here.
Bullshit alert. Bullshit alert.
When you hear these pseudoscientists claim, come on, the guys, flat Earth is so dumb. We've known the Earth is round like a ball for 2,000 years. No, we haven't.
You're just such a loser.
He is, isn't he?
G'day, Matt. How you going?
Hey, g'day. Not too bad.
I've got a very important question to ask you, Matt.
Go on then.
Okay. Why do the astronauts need snorkels in space?
Go on then. What's the punchline? Go on then. Why do astronauts need snorkels in space?
No, there's no punchline. That was the question. The astronauts have snorkels in space. Flatsoid told us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Snorkels in a vacuum. I think the exact question was snorkels in a vacuum, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Snorkels in a vacuum.
Why do the astronauts need snorkels in a vacuum?
I thought it was part of a joke. Where's the punchline?
Well, it was, but not in the way you were thinking.
Yeah. No.
It was.
God.
We went
Figures.
through Flatsoid's 27 questions, and they just got sillier and sillier. Anyway.
Yeah.
You just made it in time. I was going to say, you could be our farmers.
I do have a
tonight.
quiz. Huh?
You can be our farmers tonight, because we're just about to do Paul's music question. So you do have a quiz. That'll be good. But...
I do have a quiz. It's a bit shorter than I thought. I haven't been too well.
That's all right, because I've got two quizzes to make up for it, Matt. So.
So I do have a quiz. It's not very short, but it's not particularly.
No, that's okay.
A long filler, to be honest.
It'll fill in. We've got Paul's got. He's about to do his first music quiz, and then we've got another one later on.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you give me permission to share, Timbo.
Yeah, I was getting to that. I believe it or not, I was just distracted for a second. Share, not record. Share that one. There we go.
All right. Here we go. But just before I do the music.
I was going to say, Matt can be a... You go, Paul. You go.
Before I do the music quiz, can you see that?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Playing from the ISS.
Yeah, that was... I saw that flick up and I didn't go in on it. So that was the one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Playing, and not only that, but there's another one here as well. There's a jet going over the Bahamas from the ISS.
From the ISS.
So there you go, Flatsoid. You're just completely full of shit.
Maybe we'll have to do a video.
Oh, they'll move the goalpost to something else in a minute. Oh, why can't we see this? Or why can't we see something else? Or
why can't you see the lettering on the... Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
So this is a music quiz which Clive will no doubt be expert at.
Clive. put in your
I'm
10
no good
answers.
at this then. Forget this. Oh, forget it. Oh, I'm done already.
Where none of the answers are actually Fleetwood Mac. All right. They're all about Fleetwood Mac.
The non-Fleetwood Mac quiz then.
Yeah. They are about Fleetwood Mac, but none of the answers are actually Fleetwood Mac. So,
okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, how well do you know Fleetwood Mac?
Not very well at all.
Not well at all.
All right, well, here you go then.
Oh, hang on a sec. Chat was disconnected. Trying to connect again. What happened then? All right, you're right. Go for it. Yeah.
Right, where did the name Fleetwood Mac come from?
Oh,
Was it from Al Stewart suggested it to them? Was it Mick and John thought up the name on their own? Was it a song written by Peter Green, or did Keith Moon suggest it to them? What do you reckon?
If I'm mistaken, I remember something about Peter Green, so I think I'm going to go with C, a song written by Peter Green, but I'm really not sure.
Okay.
I reckon Keith Morgan suggested it to him. I have no idea who Keith Moon is, but anyway, just picking D for the sake of it.
And it turns out that Peter Green wrote a song about Mick and John called Fleetwood Mac when they were all with the Blues Breakers. Apparently, Peter thought very highly of Mick and John as musicians. And so you were right, Matt. The correct answer was, in fact, C.
And Clive Wells got it even.
It was just a vague recollection, and I think, if I'm mistaken, Farmer's Boy actually mentioned it once before, I think. Or might have heard it from somewhere else. I just remember the name Peter Green, so it just kind of stuck in my head.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. Which of these people were in the original lineup of Fleetwood Mac? Was it Lindsay Buckingham? Was it Jeremy Spencer, Bob Welsh, or Christine Perfect?
It was Christine Perfect, because I've got to get one right eventually. I keep going D.
I can't remember.
Theory of...
Just give a few seconds for the peanuts
E.
to
Mick Fleetwood says Clive.
But that's not one of the answers.
No, it's not.
Might as well be asking Trump about this. I'll give you a visual clue. That kind of eliminates Christine Perfect. It was this guy. Who is it?
Turing test is taking split answers here. He's got A and D.
Mudflood
Whack.
Jeremy Spencer played slide guitar in the first lineup of Fleetwood Mac. Bob Welsh came after Peter Green left the band, and Christine Perfect is Christine McVie's maiden name. So it was Jeremy Spencer. There you go.
So it wasn't D.
All right. Question 3. Fleetwood Mac scored one of their earliest hits with which song? Was it Albatross, Sentimental Lady, Rhiannon, or The Chain?
D.
Yeah, The Chain.
The Chain. I'm just going under law of averages. I have no idea. If I keep saying D, I've got to get
The
right
Chain,
once.
or as it's known in the UK, the theme tune to Grand Prix TV coverage.
Oh, okay.
If you're saying The Chain, I'm going to go with something else, and I'm just going to take a stab in the dark. I'm going to say Rhiannon, just to be different.
Well, you'll all know when I give you the visual clue, which is...
Albatross.
Oh, it's Albatross.
It is indeed. Yeah. Albatross, an instrumental song, was one of the highest charting singles in England in 1969. Yeah. It reached #1 in February 1969.
Turing Test got that one.
Yeah, The Chain was on a much, much later album. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question 4. Which guitar player was also added to the Fleetwood Mac lineup in the late 1960s? Was it Billy Burnett, Lindsey Buckingham, Danny Kerwin, or Bob Welsh?
Bob Welsh.
Yeah, I was thinking Bob Welsh. Seems to ring a bell. I agree.
Well, no. I mean, Bob Welsh actually played a guitar. He didn't ring a bell.
Ring my bell. Ring my bell.
It was this guy.
I don't know who that
Does he look like Bob? Well, he doesn't look like Bob Welsh, does he?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Lindsay Harris. Wrong Lindsay. No, it was Danny Kerman was added after a third guitar player to the band in 1968. Lindsay
I can just
joined in
imagine Farmer's Boy.
1975. Yeah.
I can imagine Farmer's Boy listening to this right now somewhere.
Yeah,
and he's screaming at the screen. He's screaming.
He's going Cook at the Tank Show saying,
yeah.
Yeah. Question 5. Who had a solo hit with Sentimental Lady? Was it Bob Welsh, Peter Green, Lindsey Buckingham, or Jeremy Spencer?
Jeremy Spencer.
Bob.
Bob. Thanks, Bob.
Was it? I think it was Bob.
Bob. Dave's going with B. What's B? Peter Green. Oh no, that could have been to the last question. So,
total guess, Bob. A. Bob.
Would that be Driver Bob?
It was this guy. Do you know who that guy is?
Farmer Bob. Builder Bob.
Give you a clue. It was also the guy who had a hit song with a song called Ebony Eyes.
None the wiser still.
Oh no, I don't know.
As a solo artist, yeah.
Frank Spencer. Oh.
No,
He
although
does look a bit
originally
like-
recorded
Hey!
by Fleetwood Mac, Bob Welsh scored a big hit with his song in January 1978.
There you go.
My
Indeed,
total guess
Bob
was
Welsh.
correct.
Yeah.
I think Clive
Frank
that he does look like Frank Spencer.
Does a bit, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Who had a solo hit with Go Insane?
Oh God.
Stevie Nicks, Peter Green, Danny Kerwin.
Lindsey Buckingham or Danny Kerwin. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Kerwin did, surely.
Why Shirley? And don't call me Shirley.
Well, as I said, I'm just going with D. And I've eventually got to get one.
Just a guess.
The law of averages, eh?
Eventually,
Well, he's gone with D the last three answers, I think. I don't know how many averages that is.
All the answers I've gone with D. It still hasn't been D, but anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go with the last one.
Actually, I should have gone with C. That's the most likely thing to come up in,
Well, you got a 25% chance. Let's face it.
No, I just.
I had a student once, Matt, that got a total score of 0 on a multiple choice test because all the questions were true or false. And I gave them an answer thing that had A, B, C, D. And I said, put A for true and B for false, right? And he hadn't studied for the test. He thought, well, the law of averages, there's 4 answers. I'll just pick one and make all of them that answer. And that way I should get at least a quarter of them right. So he picked C.
Oh, dear.
He got 0.
Yeah.
Because it's a well-known, it's a studied fact that out of multiple choice questions that C or B is the most likely answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way
So this
people
was
write
the guy.
questions. Yeah.
This was the guy that had the hit with Go Insane. And he is Lindsey Buckingham. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Told you I should have picked
All
C.
right. How many
Anyway.
times has Fleetwood Mac scored a #1 hit in the United States
One.
as of February 2003? 9, 24, 17, or 1?
One.
Total guess. I'm going to go with. Oh, you D going with D again.
Yeah.
A9. I'm going to go with 9.
You'll know when you get the visual clue.
No, I won't.
The visual
No, I
clue
won't.
is
Trust me, I won't.
One.
1.
1. The only time Fleetwood Mac scored a #1 hit in the United States was with Dreams in June 1977. Yeah. Question 8.
Good visual clue, that. I love that.
I got one right.
What did
I'm
Peter
glad it was.
Green?
I'm glad it was that finger pull.
Yeah. What did Peter Green and Eric Clapton have in common? Was it both were in the Yardbirds, both were in the Blues Breakers, both were in Fleetwood Mac, or nothing?
Yeah. I think it was Yardbirds, I think, wasn't it?
Nothing.
Was it Yardbirds, Eric Clapton?
Alert, 10 to the power of -17.
Nothing.
But is that a negative number?
That's a big number. It's a negative number, yeah. Surely they share a common ancestor.
Clapton wasn't the Yardbirds.
Yeah.
Surely they share a common ancestor.
I did think that it can't be that they have absolutely nothing in common, but, you know, I've got to stick with a D.
It was this band, if you know who that band is.
The Garage Band.
Well, it's not the Yardbirds. Blues Breakers, then?
Blues
Well,
Breakers.
it must be, mustn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Green replaced Eric Clapton in the Blues Breakers after Eric left to form Cream. It seems that both Yardbirds and Blues Breakers were the springboard for several great groups and musicians. Yeah. All right. Question 9. This song is in 2 parts, a rock part in the beginning and an acoustic part at the end. Reminiscent of spaghetti western music. Name this song. And Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin actually wrote Black Dog as a response to this song.
Well, I was going to say can't be Albatross because you wouldn't have the same answer twice. But I've got to go with D just to stick to my
Go to
rules.
laws of averages again.
I've got to stick with my rules. I set the rules at the beginning. If I didn't know the answer, just go with D. Although I suspect the A is the correct answer, but okay, we'll go with D still.
Does that give you a clue?
No.
Oh well. C, obviously. Oh well.
Yeah. It's
Oh
C.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah.
C. Oh well, yeah. Yeah, so Jimmy Page wrote his song because it sounds very similar. You know, you can see, if you listen to the song, you can see how it influenced Jimmy Page to write Black Dog. Yeah. Okay. And the last one, which is a very easy one, who wrote the 60s classic Black Magic Woman? Was it Carlos Santana, Lindsay Buckingham, Jeremy Spencer, or Peter Green?
I guess it's not Peter Green, but let's go with D.
I know the song, but I don't know who wrote it.
Off the top of my head. Santana.
Well, that was the name of the band that released it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. I don't know who wrote it.
Was this guy.
You already showed him once, didn't you?
I did. You remember who he was?
No.
There you go. This tune was a major FM hit for Santana from their second album, Abraxas. Many fans do not realise it was an original Peter Green creation. It was. He wrote it first and sang it first, yeah. Yep, absolutely. There you go.
Now, your question 8.
What?
Question 8. If you nick back a couple of question 8. See, I have a bone to pick with that. You said that none of the answers would be Fleetwood Mac, so therefore we knew we could eliminate C straight away.
Yeah, I know. That's right. The answer wasn't actually Fleetwood
No,
Mac.
it wasn't Peter Mac, but I just say.
Yeah.
As you said at the beginning, none of the answers are Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, that's right. The answer wasn't Fleetwood Mac. So there's no bone to pick there.
And we knew it wasn't going to be nothing, so there was only 2 to choose from. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. I wasn't gonna do
All right. Well, there you go.
Thanks for that, Paul.
was
That was very
Fleetwood
good.
Mac quiz. There is another music quiz for later on, but
Yeah, we might do that later
that
on.
was
We might-
that was the Fleetwood Mac one. Yeah.
We might have Matt's clue, not now,
Yeah.
but later on we might do that. Ah, dear. What have we got? Do you want is it time for some Lindsay Bingo? Time for you to go and grab something to a beverage or refill your beverage if your beverages.
Well, I've had half my bottle of wine. That's prepared me for Lindsay.
I can go feed the cat. I'll do that.
I'll put out the clue again. What's he again for those that I won't put out that one. Hang on.
Well, I've got 4 monitors. I can have one sheet on each monitor and increase my chances of getting bingo. Right.
You could. Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, Peanuts, Paul took away all my letters before the show. He made me take all the letters out of my thing, so...
Oh, I didn't do that. I just made you take out the misspelled letters.
He took away my letters from my words, so they're now spelt correctly.
They're no longer Timbo's own words.
No, not in my own words. They're now Lindsay's words. Okay, so this those, just in case you've lost it in the chat, I'll put it back up in there. There we go. What do we got showing? Okay, so what have I got at the moment? I ended up with... I'll drag that out. So, while people get that ready, just a sec for that to come back. So that's what I've got. So yeah, I think all the words are spelt. Celestial gap. Why can't I have my R in celestial gap? I don't know. Nasty. Okay. Drag that out of there. Where's our Lindsay? I got him over here. So this week, you spinning ball tarts are a joke and a disgrace to the human race. So that's the title.
Oh dear. Lucky that was empty.
Good.
Oh dear.
Let's see what silliness we've got out of Lindsay this week. How long is this one? Oh no, it's a long one. Oh dear. I thought I got rid of all the long ones. Okay, let's go.
Welcome everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. Everything here is breaking down the physics of the flat earth system, understanding it all, thanks to the ancient, mainly the ancient Egyptians, but it's written through all ancient texts and legends and myths. It's all described there. It's just whether people can find it or not. Obviously they haven't. So I've created a niche here for myself where I can read the ancient text, understand it, put the whole model together and show people. And it just goes to prove that all the ancients knew the earth was flat, way before they brought in the BS of the spinning ball in the last 100 years or so. And I can show you texts, ancient philosophy or myths or legends that have been around for thousands of years that prove they knew the earth was flat, despite your modern day scientists telling you the ancients knew it was a sphere. It's complete BS that the ancients thought the world was a sphere. Plato, the word sphere is in there somewhere. I remember reading it, but you've got to take it in the right context to see. And whether they, the Freemasons manipulate that word anyway, we don't know, do we? So, but anyway, Plato knew because he describes the whole thing. It's in the Iliad. There's plenty of a ton of books down there. They're right through there, but they just don't spell it out in straight English. For some reason, it's left for the wise ones to find. The common man just does not find it, does not see it. So I am quite lucky and I can read it and I understand it. So I'm breaking the whole model down for everybody to see. But YouTube and the powers that be, they know I'm onto it. But they're all run by the same three places at the top. I'm totally restricting my channel. Like, for example, my subs never expand with the ratio of the amount of movies I'm putting out, videos I'm
he's claiming about all the same thing all YouTubers say. Well, I'm not getting more subs. Probably a good reason for that.
putting out. So I might have about 10 videos I'm getting, at best I got like 10 subscribers a day. That's like 3 or 4 years ago. Well, before that, there's only so many videos. But anyway, so let's say there's 10-fold videos now, but the subs don't go up. They don't compound with the amount of videos you're putting out. They just stay the same.
No, it
so
doesn't work like
away,
that,
they're screwing you over. So
it's not an automatic subs. You put the video out, so the subs come with it. People got to decide to sub for you, mate. I think you've reached critical mass.
It's called improving your content. The better your content you get, the more subscribers you're going to get.
Yeah,
that's just simple as that. It's nothing to do. It's not automatic, like you said. It's like automatically assumed just because you're getting this many videos, you're going to get this many more subs, or this many views, you're going to get more subs. No.
That's the same people watching it. There's a critical mass of people who just going to sub to you unless you do
No,
something.
I mean, if you think so, ignoring what the subject matter is about. I mean, if you're doing it the same way, the same shit every single video after video, you're probably going to lose subscribers. Actually,
that's right. Yeah, you've got to do something different. Oh dear. Oh yeah, come on, Lindsay.
That's just something to bear in mind. But anyway, I'm expanding on a video I just saw of Santos Benassis about how he's showing the ridiculous motions the scientists tell you everything's doing.
Lindsay, you wonder why you're not getting subs and you're watching Santos?
They tell us that the Earth is spinning this fast at the equator. It's spinning. In reality, it's fixed and stationary. But it's flying around the sun 66,000 miles an hour. 66,600 miles per hour. Around there, right? And then they tell you it's doing 55,000 miles per hour. This whole thing is flying around the centre of the Milky Way. Okay? Well, it can't do that because the Milky Way is a
Centre of
separate
the Milky
entity.
Way. No, we're not.
The Milky Way is a separate entity of stars. We don't live in it. You can see the damn thing flying across the sky every night. You've got your background stars, and the Milky Way star, the umbilical cord, I call it, moves around
star.
our Earth, pretty much in the same motion as the background stars, but we'll get into that in a minute. So they're telling you all this, which would include all these background stars, are flying around the centre of the Milky Way. It's just complete bollocks. Then they tell you that all this is flying around the centre of the universe. The centre of the universe is the black hole, so all that is flying around the black hole.
What black hole?
Yet the sun sits on the horizon of the black hole in reality.
The centre of the universe? What is he talking about now? Who said that?
I don't know. Apparently, there's a black hole.
I think he's talking about the galactic centre.
Yeah, but he said it's a black hole there.
No, remembering Lindsay's model, everything is in that vortex, and the black hole is in the center of the vortex, and everything is going around that black hole.
Yeah.
So when he says it's all spinning around the black hole, that's what he literally means.
He's black hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying that scientists claim that we're at the centre of the universe. No, they don't.
No.
That's what you said, though, didn't he?
No, he's claiming that we're spinning around the center of the universe.
Oh, I thought you said that the scientists were claiming. Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He's mixed up.
I don't think any scientists actually make that claim anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's mixed up his claims with what he thinks science saying. Yeah.
So they're trying to tell you science says at 650 million miles an hour it's flying around the central universe. It's just ridiculous. But what I did here, I went 66,600 miles per hour around the sun. You know, so there's per hour. Hours in a year is 8,760, right? So you times it by the speed, and you get this. You get 583 million miles an hour. But they've come up with this figure here. I don't know where this comes from, how they work this out. Because you need a computer and in the know with all their bullshit to understand what the hell they're talking about. And the sun is orbiting the Milky Way galaxy. Always, around there. Okay, so that's their garbage. Complete and utter bullshit. Because there's only one system, there's only one central vortex, and it turns. That means everything else has to turn around that system or within that system. That's logic. That's common sense. But humans are batshit crazy, and they want to believe all this garbage, that they live on a spinning ball. So, let's get back to reality, okay? Earth is fixed and stationary because Earth is from the hole. That's written in Plato. Check that one out. The Plato or the Hermetic? Pretty sure it's Plato. Earth is from the hole. What's the black hole? The place of rest. It's the centre of a vortex. There's nothing going on in the centre. All the action's around the perimeter. It's fixed. It's stationary. That is where Earth is from. Earth fixed and stationary. So, we have a sun that moves around our Earth. Sun and Milky Way. So imagine this is the Earth. They're all the background stars in the vortex. The Milky Way moves around our Earth with the stars, with the background stars. So you've got the Milky Way stars, which are a separate entity to the background stars. Imagine that. So imagine this is all of the Earth and all the stars are moving around. Well, actually, in reality, you should just look at this as just the northern hemisphere, okay? Because the southern hemisphere is in a mirrored duality. So just concentrate on the northern hemisphere. Most flat earthers are in the northern hemisphere anyway. Just treat the Earth as the northern hemisphere. Once you get more advanced, you get to understand, only through my videos though, the duality, the mirrored southern field, separated by the tropical gap. So this is how it works. It just moves. It's still moving in the same direction. It's all in the same vortex. Centralised at the Arctic centre is a vortex. Place we can't get to, everything's expanded out from it. Expressed out, created from that central vortex.
I don't have all the words I had last month.
Move around our Earth 15 degrees per hour. 4 minutes per day, quicker than the background stars. They don't tell you that either. The sun is the quickest body in the whole universe. Okay? shoot over here. Look, the turning and rolling of the Milky Way and moving into the sun. Oh, we've got three motions here. We've got the Milky Way that rolls around the Earth this way over 24 hours. But at the same time, it's moving around the hole. At the same time as it's moving around the vortex, so imagine a straw sticking out of a vortex, a cup of vortex water. It's not only going to roll around this way, it's going to roll slightly as it turns around the hole. So it's rolling. So that's what the Milky Way does. But you have to realise it's basically, you can think of it another way as the two forces coming together. It's a helix. They're spiralling around the sun as they approach, as they both ends come into the sun, which is there. We'll get back to that in a minute. So there's three motions. There's the around the Earth, there's the rolling as it moves around the Earth, and the inward motion over time. This would be, that's like millions, thousands or millions of years that the Milky Way stars are being pulled into the sun, or into possibly the black hole. Because the sun is on the horizon of the black hole. Okay? While the background stars in the vortex just turn. They just turn. Just turn in and out of their S-curve spiral every 24 hours. It is only stated 23.54 hours for the background stars because the sun has rushed ahead. The sun rushes ahead by 4 minutes a day. But they're basically doing a 360-degree circle.
4 minutes a day.
In 24 hours if you don't use the sun as a reference point. I think that's the way it goes.
So what do you use as a reference point?
Maybe not. Because the sun does the circle in 24 hours. So anyway, it's a little bit slower than the sun, okay?
Confused yourself now.
You know that one. It's not that one, right?
Maybe not.
They don't know the sun's quicker though. No, they don't know all that. Forget it. They do not know the sun is quicker than all the other celestial bodies. That's the joke of it all. And what have we got here? The sun is male. Oh, the sun is male and female. The sun is male and female, guys. Because there's two systems. You've got the female coming up out of the vortex. Because there's female. You've got the male coming in through the top. That comes from the tropical gap. Electromagnetic force, electromagnetic induction. The two forces, positive and the negative, bang, create the sun. Pretty simple if you know your electrical engineering and all that sort of stuff. So, 550 miles.
I just need equilibrium.
The Milky Way helix spiral around the sun at its core.
I could do the equilibrium.
So the Milky Way moving, they might say that's that figure, but God knows where they get their figures. I could go deeper into it, but I can't be bothered. So the sun and Milky Way lap the vortex stars per year, plus 1 degree. This Milky Way creeps over the stars, gets ahead of them, laps them by 1 full rotation over 1 year, and 1% more, 1 degree more. That 1 degree is the precession of the equinoxes, isn't it? So bear that in mind. But everything is all turning into one vortex. Makes sense, doesn't it? And all these irrational,
not really,
separate motions. It's ridiculous. Because there is no lateral or perpendicular pull. But, maybe should have rubbed that off. But that's meaning you've got an inward pull here with the stars as well.
Rub
the Milky Way
all
stars.
off.
And these stars coming up here. Male and female. So this is the Milky Way we see at night. We see this in our night sky, wandering over us. And that's Sagittarius A, okay? That's the back of the sun.
So we can see the back of the
like
sun.
This. There's the sun.
I love that.
There's the force this way, there's the force this way. Always feeding the sun. Male and female. Creating the electrical, which is electromagnetic induction and magnetism. So we can get free electricity just from magnets. But
no, you can't.
Oh, it's a bit more to that. This magnetic field.
There you go,
It might be coming off the magnetic field, which is the female, but it's due to the hydrogen molecule. This is like when they're making their plasma. It's tritium and borium. What's it called? Borium, tritium. Because they get that from the hydrogen molecule, don't they? It's coming up through here.
Hydrogen molecule.
Out of this vortex water. You start to understand all this, you create yourself free energy. I'm not a physicist.
Obviously.
Okay, so we go. The Milky Way rolls as it moves around the Earth. This is the parallax between the Milky Way stars and the background stars. The Milky Way are male stars and the background stars are female within the central vortex, which are the female stars.
Yeah.
So you've got the female.
See, he checks between the legs.
Vortex like this. And what is sticking the female is the male. Now if you go to Isaiah 40, I can't quite remember. Isaiah 40. In there, it talks of the Oh, flip, I should find it, shouldn't I? That's a good one. You got a second? Oh, give me a minute.
In a minute.
Huh?
Lindsay.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Okay. What does it say in there? Something about... No, I think it'll be in the ledger. 1 second.
He's going again. Hold a sec. Lindsay. Lindsay.
Yeah, here we go.
Come back. Oh, there you go.
Bear with me. Never organised. Maybe I got paid, I might be. What have we got here? Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretches out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Okay? That's that. Now, I wonder if we read this post I put on Facebook regarding that. Whatever they call them. Here we go. How the Bible exposes hypocrites and the unwise. The hypocrites that call themselves Christians yet deny the earth is flat, or that the Bible explains that the earth is flat. Unless one knows the earth is flat and its fashion, one will never understand the Bible fully. The Bible is a big person's book regarding astrophysics, mainly metaphysics. It is not a children's book of fairy tales for adults to believe. Here's just one example. Isaiah 40:22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Who is he? Who's he?
Well, it says it in the Bible.
The starters, Christians don't even realise or accept that Christ represents the sun.
Bingo.
Even though it sits upon the circle of the earth. If one had at least half a brain, they might think that this right here tells them that the earth is flat and round. And fair enough. But understanding the true model of earth excels in one's favour. The tree of life sits at the dead centre arctic of our earth, as an unseen vortex coming off the earth, created by the four winds. It is the central vortex of creation that projects our realm. This is where the actual sun is hidden, in the form of cold fusion and pure plasma. Science knows this because this is where they get their atomic clock timekeeping from. The actual sun does not move up or down. It is on a consistent circular path around the black hole centre of creation, moving at a constant speed of 15 degrees per hour as it projects an image we see with our eyeballs out into our realm, the created realm, from that central place called the tree of life, the creator. So Christ, the actual unseen sun, which can be called the S-O-N, sun, because it sits on the horizon of its father, F-A-T-H-A, the black hole of creation, it's sitting on the top of the circular vortex. Not just the earth, it's on top of the vortex which creates our earth. The vortex that creates our world, earth. This circle at the top of the vortex is the place of the ecliptic plane, and the unseen sun sits on its inside track, hugging the black hole centre. The sun being on the inside track, if it was a horse race, would finish its laps quicker than the rest of the fixed-lane horses, the planets, wouldn't it? Well, it does, because the fact is the sun is the quickest moving celestial body in our skies. Period. But your mainstream media science doesn't even know this, or they just don't tell you because it F's with their entire spinning ball model. They tell us that the planets approach the sun, particularly at their so-called retrograding. Another fallacy.
Yes.
They're all moving in the same direction. It cannot reverse direction. But it might appear that way if the sun is catching up to the planet and they don't know the sun's moving.
We don't
Then
actually
they're going to tell you the planet's coming this way
they
towards the
appear
sun.
Yeah.
The sun's image we see fluctuates up and down or in and out in the seasonal changes as it follows the magnetic field of the ecliptic plane tilting. So the actual sun, unseen, sits at the top of the circle, the vortex, that projects our realm. Everything we see in the night sky is a projection from the central vortex,
really
tree of
bad
life.
words this week.
And so too is everything that exists. The
Yeah,
central
mine are pretty
vortex
good this
is the
week.
top half of the hyperboloid that expresses the toroidal field of our Earth. The sun, Christ in brackets, sits on the top of that circular horizon of the vortex. The black hole is at the centre of the central vortex of creation, and this horizon is also the circular ecliptic plane. Because of the sun's position, its brightness and motion around the horizon of the black hole, science claims the ecliptic plane is oval, only because they use the sun as their reference point, not even realising the sun is actually moving. A moving reference point? Bear in mind though, because the ecliptic plane is tilting, that tilting may appear to give it an elliptical motion as well. But there's stuff all in it. It is, and then back to that line in the Bible there, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are like grasshoppers.
It
What is
doesn't
grass?
say that.
It is grain.
I looked it up. It doesn't say anything about grasshoppers.
What do we keep grain in? A hopper. They talk about this in the Bible quite a bit, but no one clicks on. What is the shape of a hopper?
They call it a silo.
It is the shape
not
of a
hopper.
vortex. And it stretches out the heavens as a curtain. I just explained how that vortex expresses out our creation. The toroidal field, the hyperboloid creates the toroidal field, and we're in that field with the net over us, which is the torus field, the magnetic field.
In his version, maybe it does.
So the
I don't know
curtain
where
is
he's
also known as
reading
the
from.
net.
I don't know what his
Egyptians
version
talked about the net a lot.
Let me see if it says it.
It stretches out the heavens as a curtain. The curtain, also known as a net, as in planet, is the toroidal field that encases the earth.
Oh, God.
As in stretches out the heavens, stretches out from the central vortex,
Planet.
the hyperboloid of creation.
Has he
There's
said
a long
moon?
post and spreadeth
No,
out for a
don't think
tent.
I don't think
torus
so. I'm
field
waiting for
to
that
dwell
one.
in.
I've
I
got
don't think he
moon.
I
has.
rest my
I haven't had
case.
it yet.
People, it's time to start waking up, and I can help you. Realize there are two forms of Christ and two forms of the Son, which represent each other. We have the Son of the earth and the Son of man. The illuminated man, he who is divinely born again in spirit this time. The Son, S-O-N, of man, has corrupted the entire world and prevented man from understanding the true divinity of the Bible. The Bible, B-I-bull, B-U-L-L, means jewel, by, jewel,
Oh,
and
God.
bull expansion.
No.
What does the torus field do again? It expands out from its centre. And what does the Son of Man do? It makes him wise, but only through the expansion of his learning or guidance from above. Opening your mind, seek and you shall find. Christ, as the Son of Man, went on to teach in the synagogue after 12 years, from the date of his enlightenment. Jesus as a baby is the children's story that adults never grew out of. Yet they dumped Santa, and he's the guy who bared the gifts. And what was the meaning of these gifts? The coming of your Christmas. Another long story.
Christ
That was a long
Mass,
story.
not Christ Miss.
Wasn't meant for this video. Anyway, understanding the flat earth system, all the motions that make sense, all from the one central vortex. It's right in here is the black hole, and it's all just turning that one motion, constantly turning, but the stars come up and then up and down over 24 hours in the S curve. Okay, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci. Just forget all this BS they tell you. Teach your kids this stuff here. It's logical. They can understand everything. You get to understand the whole flat earth model and connect it with the human brain. Then you start understanding your spiritual concept, the meaning to life, enlightenment. Otherwise, you're just going to be a dumb animal and go through the recycling system again, over and over again. Who wants to be a dumb animal? You've got choices. Be dumb and enslaved to the freakmasons at the top, or start waking up. Find your own path in life. Turn off your flipping TV would be a good start. Okay, that's it, guys. Give us a likes up. Spread the good word. Cheers.
Nah, not likely.
No.
Well, I needed moon or equilibrium to get a line.
I needed waters beneath or spiritual awakening.
I got a line.
Yeah,
I
you
got a lot. I got bingo.
I got all the words I usually get. I didn't get. Like I didn't get vortex. I didn't get. So I didn't do very well at all.
So the line I got was metaphysics, Milky Way, Southern Hemisphere, field, and Egyptians.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Oh, I missed
didn't get any of
Egyptians.
those. Egyptians. I
He
didn't
said
hear it.
field. He said
He
field.
he said Taurus field.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
Yes.
He did
Well,
say
still
Taurus
field.
field, yeah.
I didn't
But
hear
it
him
still has
say
field in
field.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
As soon as
exactly.
he says Taurus field, I click off Taurus field and field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
but
right.
if it just says field, you can't tick off Taurus field.
No, that's right. But he did say Taurus field. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't hear him say
toward the
Egyptians. Did anyone else get
Yeah,
it?
he did.
Oh,
Yeah, right at the
I missed that
beginning.
one.
I think right
Yeah,
at the beginning.
missed
I
that
think you said
He
Egyptians.
did, because
yeah.
I've ticked it up as well, Timbo.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go. So I didn't hear him say moon, though.
No, I didn't.
No,
hear
he
him
don't
Actually, he
that.
did
Yeah,
say
no, I was
expand,
waiting
but
for
I
that.
didn't tick that one. But he didn't say Orion's belt.
Did he?
So, yeah, he said we expand outward. Yeah, no, he did say the expand. Spiritual waking, yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
No,
think he
I
actually
didn't tick
said
it
that
off.
one.
Because I was waiting for that one.
So, yeah, usually I get, like, duality. I usually get that. I didn't get that at all. Anyway, that'll be.
No, I didn't. I didn't hear him saying duality.
No, I meant as in I get the word. I didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
There's a few of the words I usually get, I didn't get it all.
Or even dual system. He often says dual system, but he didn't say that.
He didn't today, no.
Yeah. I do like the thing complaining that YouTube's it's YouTube's fault. It's nothing to do with his content. Poor Lindsay.
Well, there you go.
I think that goes to, remember that, wasn't it a while back he had this thing, if you pay him $500, he tell you how to make free electricity from the magnets?
That's right.
Yes.
Is that what he said? Pay $500 and then you'll
I
get.
remember seeing a video a long time ago. Yes, you pay him $500 and you tell him how you get free electricity from magnets, or free power from magnets. He wasn't going to tell anyone on YouTube because he wanted the money. It was going to be a Nobel Prize winning thing, something or other. But
Yeah, he probably got it off one of those free energy things on YouTube, probably.
No, it was something he
Scams
had.
that you get.
He was saying he had worked it out, and yeah. Anyway,
all right.
I might have to do a vintage Lindsay at some point. What have we got? Do you want to hear about?
No.
Okay. Well, do you want to hear about?
I'm joking. Go on. We're going to hear about what?
Well, we've got. I didn't pick up much. This is the only other flat Earth stuff I've got, apart from the debunkers. This is from Leo.
Oh, Leo.
Leo. He is
Something related to space, I'm sure, again.
So it would seem I've been
Yes, it
challenged.
is. So
Can't see it, by the way.
yes, you
Oh,
can
you can.
now. I'll give you 2 seconds to please click the right buttons. Here we go.
Challenged by some
Lego
Lego
engineers
engineers.
challenge Leo.
Should I be worried? Well, let's have a look.
Lego engineers are good, Leo. Don't knock the Lego
So first up,
engineers.
we've got one of the top
Yeah.
boys on the space Lego scene. Let's see what Dan's got to say.
If you are a flat earther, there are a...
I'm going to stop you pretty much straight away, my handsome friend. No, I'm not a flat earther. I'm a demonstrable
Yes, you are.
realist. You've been told this numerous times, yet you keep
You are.
telling your viewers I'm a flat earther. Could it be you don't want them to know the demonstrable truth, the fact the globe's scientifically impossible? And you're trying to inform your viewers on a subconscious level that a demonstrable realist, me, stands by the loaded term flat earth and all the propaganda and silly claims and cartoons that go with it.
Well, I agree
Yes,
with
I
that
think
bit.
that's the case, Dan. Very
You
dishonest.
know what answer
fella.
to the flat
You're
Earth.
trying to give your viewers the impression that I stand by things that aren't my claims. Propaganda, misrepresentations through use of wordplay. Loaded words, I should say. Let me state for the record, many times in the past, in my titles of my video, I've used the word flat earth. One,
Yes,
to
you
tickle
have.
the algorithms.
Doesn't
and
matter.
two,
He said
to
flat Earth
highlight
in the
people's
actual videos, though, on a number of occasions.
automated
I know he has.
responses to
Yes.
the words flat earth and how propagandized they are.
Do you think the
Okay?
Earth is
Liar.
flat
Of
Earth?
course, I dropped that many years ago now. I don't even use it. I simply stand by demonstrable
I've heard him
science
say it.
because it's a better lever point. You don't have to entertain the
Oh,
propaganda.
he has in the past, yeah,
But
for sure.
still, I'm not that I've ever claimed flat earth maps and models. I'm still being misrepresented
You have.
constantly.
Lying.
Because these
Yeah, he's
people
lying
cannot
again.
accept the demonstrable truth. Incredibly telling.
few other things
He only
that you
does it
sort
like the
of
rest of them do,
have
is
to
shift the
believe
burden of proof.
other
That's
than
all
flat
it is.
Earth.
Yeah.
You have to
Prove
believe
anything.
that gravity
Like the rest
isn't
of them do.
real, for instance.
Wrong. I don't deny our reality in any shape or form. Most things
Yes, you
fall.
do.
Some things rise. I don't deny it.
You deny space all the
In
time.
fact, I love it. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because the way reality presents itself to us proves the globe scientifically impossible. Because whatever is at play with regards gravity, cause and effect, whatever's going on there, it's not man enough
Oh,
to
get
make
on
the
with it,
globe
Leo.
Earth theory
Jesus, well.
a reality. That's not my opinion, Dan. It's a
Yes, it is.
demonstrable fact. Because
Blah, blah,
whatever
blah.
is at play can be overcome by a gentle breeze, and therefore isn't man enough to hold tower cranes upside down
Yes, it
or do
is.
ludicrous speeds in four
Just 'cause
different
you don't
directions
understand gravity.
on a spinning, wobbling, oscillating ball. Just a demonstrable fact. You're getting confused and misrepresenting again. I'm only speaking for myself here. What's denied are the silly stories attached to the way reality presents itself to us. Okay? No one denies what is.
And what is tells us the globe's impossible. All right? Whatever the cause and effect
Oh, he's saying the same thing over and over and over again in a different way. Get on with it, Leo.
Isn't
Jeez,
man enough
Christ.
to make your delusional world
waffling
a reality.
Waffle.
And he's not really saying what he believes anyway.
And that 8 inches per mile squared actually works.
None of your mathematics works, fella. It's all mathematical storytelling.
Well, so you just denied that.
Doesn't have any
I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'll be back
whatsoever to back
Yeah,
it
right.
up. Just fantasy.
Yeah, you
Maths,
haven't got
as
to
I've
do-
stated
yeah,
many
do-
times, is just a mathematical story unless it has scientific demonstrations to back up its claims. And that's exactly the case with this globe Earth theory.
Most importantly, above all else, you have to believe that space is fake. But to
Dan, how many times have you been told? You cannot have a spherical air pressure system rock, globe Earth, residing in the middle of a vacuum, space, without some kind of solid separation. That's not my opinion, Dan. That's
Yes, it
a
is.
scientific demonstrable fact, backed up by every single demonstration on this Earth involving a vacuum residing next to an air pressure system. So no, Dan, I don't believe in things that are scientifically impossible. Because if your spacecraft did get to a vacuum of space, as you put it, it would have needed to have gone through a solid wall to get there.
No.
Not my opinion, a demonstrable fact.
today, regarding that, I'm going to openly challenge a flat earther to try and debunk the undebunkable.
Well, I've just debunked it with
No, you
demonstrable reality, and I haven't even seen the video yet. Although I know what's coming because you've been going on about this for weeks now. But I've already destroyed it by stating simple facts that can be tested and verified by every single person on this earth.
No, you haven't.
Right, back to today's video, which, as I promised, will be a monumental challenge to flat earthers. Now, it's a prerequisite for flat earthers to claim that space is fake, NASA is a hoax, and everything they do is a lie. The trouble is, there's a video in existence which completely destroys that opinion. Now, in my opinion, it is undebunkable, and all my time doing YouTube, for 5+ years, I've not once seen a flat earther take this video on.
Bless this man's desperation, citing some fantasy as proof that reality is wrong. What a silly charade all of this is.
Now, I've mentioned it before in previous videos, but today we're going to really show it off. And it is, of course, the 50-minute tour of the ISS. It quite simply is an amazing video, and it shows NASA astronaut Stephen Swanson giving us a guided tour of the International Space Station. Now, as I said, in my opinion, this is undebunkable, and that's highlighted by the fact that our favourite Flat Earth Fail compilation guest and all-round NASA critic level Earth observer has never, ever looked at this video. Now, he has looked at almost every single other video from NASA except this one. Now, I've asked him to multiple times, but he still refuses. You see, the thing is...
Well, do you remember our conversation where I asked you if you had any practicality to back up your fundamental claims to justify me wasting 15 minutes of my time looking at space propaganda? You didn't cite any, which of course debunked your fundamental claims and of course meant I didn't need to entertain this silliness.
Basically,
so again, this is
coming
just
up
a
with an
silly charade
excuse
for
not
your
to
fans.
say
Man,
why this is
not looking good, fella.
debunkable.
I already know all of the arguments from flat earthers about why they think the space is fake and that NASA is a lie and all of that. They say CGI and underwater and wires and parabolic flights and everything like that. And none of those excuses work on this 50-minute tour of the ISS. So I've asked a friend of the channel, Pete MK, to do a deep dive on this video of the
deep dive
tour of the ISS. Just to reaffirm what we all know, and that nothing will wash when it comes to this 50-minute tour. Take it away, Pete.
And of course, it turns out our mate here is another Lego engineer. Essentially, an older guy that plays.
It doesn't matter though, Leo. It doesn't matter.
Today we're going to talk about Level F Observer yet again, and his fascination bordering on obsession with the International Space Station or anything space related. And for a while now, myself and Dan have been trying to get him to watch the 50-minute ISS International Space Station tour, which is a fantastic piece of footage because it blows apart any argument anybody may have whether or not space is real and the International Space Station is actually up there. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to go through some points where, should Elio ever get round to actually watching this video, these are the points we think he'll try to point out and try and debunk. But as you'll see, it's completely 100% undebunkable.
Debunked it before it even begun by simply citing demonstrable science that can be tested and verified by all, which is my whole point in the first place, which is what gives
Nobody's
me a free
debunked any
pass
of that
to
video.
space
Not
to do
one
any
person
which
has
way I
been able
like.
to.
And I
keeps
do
using
that,
anything
and of
to
course
bank
in doing so, I highlight the
demonstrable,
fact
but he
people like
denies
yourself can't provide any scientific
demonstration, so-
practicality. No. You just have to cite more space propaganda. Slightly better version.
No, you don't.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Your whole channel's is
I'll
based on
entertain you, me old fantasist
Yeah.
mate. But we need Simon Dan to do a bit of a correction. Dan needs to highlight the fact in a video to his viewers that I'm a demonstrable realist. And he needs to highlight my claims. Things like you can have an air pressure system residing next to a vacuum. Tower cranes and pendulums don't have the ability to be dead still and plumb whilst doing ludicrous speeds in all different directions.
Yes, you do.
And large standing bodies
but that's
of
not
water
debunking the
don't
video,
have the
though, is it,
ability
Leo?
to display
You
convexity
stupid man.
upon its surface. That's the fundamentals of what I stand by. So let's have Dan highlight that rather than misrepresent me by using loaded terms to subconsciously misrepresent me to his viewers. So get Dan to correct his mistakes and misrepresentations, highlight my science, demonstrable reality to his viewers.
How times is he going to say that?
And then I'll entertain your space video. Correct your mistakes, and then I'll entertain your propaganda, and I'll tear it left, right, and centre.
No, you
Destroyed
won't.
it before it even begun.
You
Now
haven't.
it's on
No, you
you.
haven't. You've
Correct
never done it.
your
You
misrepresentations,
won't trust that video.
and I'll tear your propaganda.
You're running away from it.
Chop, chop, Lego boy.
Even if they did what you said, you'd find some other way, some other goalpost.
Yeah, so he basically what he's doing is he's waffling around the whole video. He's just waffling around it. He won't actually go to the video and prove that it's not real, that it's fake. But nobody can, because as we all know, in that whole 50-minute video, there's not one single cut. They're moving through hatchways and closing doors and all the rest of it. So there can't be any harnesses. Impossible. Right? It can't be it can't be one of those vomit comets because 50 minutes long. Yeah, right. Okay. It can't be underwater because they're not using any breathing equipment. It just completely debunks the whole notion that the ISS is fake and space doesn't exist. Completely. But you won't actually physically touch it. He won't actually go to the video and show us where it's fake. He won't do it. None of them will. Not one of them. Nobody's done it.
I mean, it's like a boxer taunting the opposition, but he never actually throws an actual punch.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good analogy.
Well, more he doesn't even get in the ring.
Yeah,
because
never gets in the ring to begin with. Yeah,
because the whole way he's on his thing is people said, well, here's evidence that the Earth's we're saying space, and he says, no, space is fake. All this stuff is fake. And then when someone says, well, prove this is fake, he says, oh no, you're not showing us demonstrable science. It's just circular, just. Yeah.
So if Leo was watching, I'll say to him right now, I says, well, you talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Yeah.
Do it. Show us. Because you haven't. You can't. And you won't. So, just shut up then.
Yes. Let's have someone who's not a flat earther for a change. Do you want to see another Tony video? Spherical distance formula.
Tony who?
Done at PH.
Oh, Tony Pinot. Oh, yeah. Oh, a bit of sensible for a little while.
Yeah. I was going to say, we might have your quiz after this, by the way. Matt, just give you a bit of a heads up.
That's fine. Yeah, whenever.
Yeah, I'll give you a heads up. Yeah.
Greetings YouTubers. Today I'm going to be starting a new series
The spherical distance formula, yet another stake through the heart of flat Earth. Long-time viewers of the channel will doubtless recognize this slide. This is a reformulation of the spherical cosine formula, which can be used to accurately estimate the great circle distance between any 2 points of known latitude and longitude on Earth's surface. And this alone is enough to demonstrate that the Earth must be at least approximately spheroidal. But the headaches for flat earthers are only just beginning. Primary school geometry teaches us that on a planar surface you can easily have 3 equidistant points. These would be the points on the vertices of an equilateral triangle. That's what equilateral means. But as soon as you try and introduce a 4th point on the same planar surface, things go awry. This new point can be equidistant from 2 of the vertices, but the distance between the new point and the 3rd vertex of the equilateral triangle can never be made to work. This limitation disappears as soon as one moves into 3 dimensions. That additional point can just be placed above the equilateral triangle at an equal distance from each of the vertices, creating a tetrahedron. So if we can find a set of 4 points all on the same surface, such that the points are equidistant from one another, then that surface cannot be planar. We can now use this result to determine whether or not Earth's surface is planar. If Earth's surface contains 4 points that are equidistant from one another, then it cannot be planar. This table shows 4 points: Dumpy Creek, Australia, Goljo, Kenya, Portezuelo, Chile, and a point in Inuvik, Canada. The angular separation between each pair of points is shown in blue above the diagonal of the table. The great circle distance approximation between each pair of points is shown in red below the diagonal. These results were all obtained using the spherical distance approximation shown previously. Here I'm showing the 4 proposed vertices of our tetrahedron on a Robinson global projection. If you're good at 3-dimensional visualization, you may be able to imagine this projection wrapped around the surface of a sphere and the configuration that the 4 points will adopt. Okay, so the spherical distance formula tells us that these 4 points are equidistant on Earth's surface. A skeptical person might well ask, what is the evidence that that claim is correct? Well, I am so glad you asked. We will start with azimuthal equidistant map projections. Each such map projection has a central point, the center of the map. The distance between this central point and any other point on the map is a scalar multiple of the real-world distance between the 2 points. Points that are an equal distance away from the central point in the real world will plot onto a circle in the map. This particular style of map projection is very useful when considering a physical phenomenon that radiates outward from a central point. Examples include earthquakes, tsunamis, or missile launches from a particular location. For our purposes, what really matters is that when we use one vertex of our tetrahedron as the center point of the map, then the other vertices all lie on a circle, just as we predicted. Our skeptical interlocutor might well say, well, so what? That's a circular argument. You're saying that spherical maps agree with the spherical distance formula. Show me some real-world examples. So let's move on to commercial flight times. Sadly, there aren't commercial flights between these exact locations, so I've had to do some approximations. This table lists embarkation and debarkation points and their coordinates, along with the flights that connect them, and the average flight time averaged over the inbound and the return flights. I have taken these average flight times and multiplied them by the velocity of the planes, 930 kilometers an hour, to get the maximum distance that these planes could have flown in that amount of time. I have made no allowance for air traffic control maneuvers, or for the plane to get to elevation, or for the effect of wind patterns. In the final column, I list the spherical distance approximation between each pair of points and compare that with the result from the previous calculation. We can then see that the misfit between the spherical distance approximation and the flight travel time is less than 15%, and that agreement would be further improved if we allowed a realistic time for maneuvering and for the aircraft to get to cruising altitude. Now obviously there's no direct flight from Dumpy Creek to Portezuelo, so I've had to use Sydney to Santiago as a proxy. Nonetheless, the flight time between Sydney and Santiago agrees well with their spherical distance separation, which in turn agrees well with the spherical distance estimation between Dumpy Creek and Portezuelo. We can similarly use Brisbane to Vancouver to approximate Dumpy Creek to Inuvik, and again we can see that flight time and spherical distance separation are entirely consistent. The closest major international airport hub to Kenya is in Dubai. Using Brisbane to Dubai to test the separation of Goljo and Dumpy Creek, we see that the flight time is entirely consistent with the estimated spherical distance. A similar result is obtained using Dubai to Seattle as a proxy for Goljo-Inuvik, or using Dubai-Sao Paulo as a proxy for Goljo-Portezuelo. In summary, the flight times, which are publicly available and observable, are entirely consistent with the spherical distance formula. But flat earthers have a long track record of ignoring flight time data, invoking magic winds or pilot shenanigans or some grand conspiracy. So let's move on to submarine cables. The number of submarine cables relevant to this conversation is vastly smaller than the number of flight times available to us. Nonetheless, they remain an important data set. The reason for this is twofold. First of all, the commercial aspect. Creating a submarine cable connection between two continents is actually ferociously expensive, costing upwards of $1 million per kilometre for the cable to be laid. In this context, both parties, the company paying for the cable to be laid and the company that is actually doing that, both have very strong financial incentives to pay meticulous attention to exactly how much cable is used and what the costs are. Neither company nor their shareholders will willingly shoulder the legal and financial consequences of underestimating or overestimating how much cable has been prepared. The second reason that this is such an important data set is more mundane. It's that the length of these cables can be independently verified once the cables have been laid. The length of the cable can be easily and repeatedly verified by timing how long it takes a signal to get from one end of the cable to the other and back again. For instance, the time it takes a signal to travel from Hillsborough, Oregon to Sydney, Australia along the Hawaii submarine cable is 135 milliseconds, corresponding to a latency of 1 millisecond per 100 kilometers. A similar latency rate of 1 millisecond per 100 kilometers is observed along the Oman-Australia cable between Perth and Muscat. Obviously, submarine cables cannot be kept perfectly taut, and to facilitate maintenance and operation, their paths tend to veer a little bit to pass through island centres such as Hawaii, the Cocos-Keeling Islands or the Solomon Islands. Even allowing for these imprecisions, the lengths of these submarine cables accord very well with what we would expect based on the spherical distance approximation. One of my earliest interactions with a flat earther was with one with the rather inappropriate appellation Brian's Logic. I understand that he has since moved on to such grand things as inventing sky miles and misidentifying cloud banks as mountain ranges. But at the time of our mercifully brief interaction, his main concern seemed to be that the Earth must be flat because GPS uses Cartesian coordinates. It's now time to revisit this particular flat Earth classic. First of all, I went to the IGS website and found the 4 IGS stations closest to our 4 proposed vertices. Those IGS stations are plotted here as black circles. IGS stands for the International GNSS Service, and GNSS stands for Global Navigation Satellite System. I really hate nested acronyms. In this table, I've listed the identifiers of the 4 IGS sites, their latitude, longitude and elevation, and their Cartesian coordinates in the International Terrestrial Reference Frame. We can now test whether or not these 4 points are a coplanar set. Given any 3 arbitrary points in 3-dimensional space, as long as those points are non-degenerate and not collinear, they will define a plane. That plane will be orthogonal to the cross product of B minus A and C minus A. It's not really important that you understand what a cross product is, other than the cross product of any 2 vectors is orthogonal to both those vectors. If we introduce a 4th point D, then D is in the same plane as A, B and C if D minus A is also orthogonal to the cross product of B minus A and C minus A, which is equivalent to saying that the dot product of D minus A and the cross product is equal to 0. If the dot product of D minus A and that cross product is non-zero, we can actually calculate how far the point D is from the plane defined by A, B and C using the formula above. Again, it's not really important whether or not you know what dot products or cross products are. All that's important is that these are well-defined mathematical functions and you can just plug them into an appropriate program. If you do that with the IGS sites presented here, you will find that point D is almost 9,000 kilometers away from the plane defined by A, B and C. We conclude from this that the Earth is not even approximately planar. Now that we have Cartesian coordinates, we can calculate Cartesian distances, but these can't be compared directly with great circle distances. Instead, the correct comparison is to compare Cartesian distances to chord lengths, which can be easily calculated using simple trigonometry. Doing this for the vertices of our tetrahedron, we see that the chord length separating them should be 10,404 kilometers. We can now directly compare this estimate against the Cartesian distances between the IGS sites. In this table, I present the Cartesian distances between the IGS sites in blue above the diagonal and the great circle approximations between them below the diagonal in red. Results that the Cartesian distances between the IGS sites are in good agreement with the estimate we obtained in the last slide. It is worth emphasizing that the X, Y, and Z coordinates for these stations are derived from observational data. The Cartesian coordinates can be converted into latitude and longitude, but latitude and longitude can also be estimated using astronomical observations. We therefore have two independent data sets that can be compared against one another. We can use these two data sets to obtain some interesting insights into Earth's geometry. For instance, the latitude of a particular site can be accurately determined by carefully observing the angle of elevation to the nearest pole of celestial rotation. But this value is closely associated with the Z value estimated from GPS observations. This is very well explained if the Earth is approximately spheroidal. In that case, there is a very direct functional relationship between the Z value of a point on Earth's surface and its latitude. In this table, we compare the Z value estimated using a very simple spheroidal approximation against the observed Z value for each site. We see that the difference between the observed Z value and the calculated Z value is quite small, at most 20 kilometers or so. At all points, the discrepancy between the two techniques is less than 1%. Another technique available to us to verify whether or not these points are actually the vertices of a tetrahedron is to look at their angles of intersection. If we take a top-down view of a tetrahedron, so that there is a central vertex in the middle, the edges from the other vertices meet at that vertex at an angle of exactly 120 degrees. Spherical trigonometry gives us exactly the same result for any spherical triangle with sides 109.47 degrees. And when we test this using visualization or navigational software, that is exactly the result that we obtain. Okay, what I tried to demonstrate in this video is that the Great Circle distance approximation is entirely consistent with commercial flight times, submarine cable lengths, and GPS coordinate locations. I also demonstrated, using the spherical distance formula and GPS site coordinates, that it is not possible for Earth's surface to be planar. The geometry of the points considered in this episode is such that Earth's surface must be three-dimensional, and it must have a vertical dimension at least 3 orders of magnitude larger than can be accounted for by topography. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you'll join me next time when I'll be discussing lies that flirfs tell.
Good.
Yeah, there you go. I'm afraid though that's just going to go past most of the Globers. As I said, they can't accept that you can have a tangent to a curve. You don't think they're going to cover any of that? It was interesting though. I did enjoy the concepts were really good, but.
Right, do you want me to do this little quiz then?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say. Sorry, I just put my coughing thing on. Yes, please. If you know what to do.
You obviously know. You obviously know that what the theme is going to be. Obviously,
it's going to be difficult. Mushrooms or elves.
Yeah, mushroom growing. That's it. Yeah, you got it. All right, let me just share.
Mycology.
Yes.
All right, can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, studied up on quantity surveying.
There we go. They can now.
That? What did you say, Paul?
Well, I studied quantity surveying. I didn't know you were going to do it on space.
Yeah. Space.
Yeah, right. Like I know anything about quantity surveying. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's space quiz, obviously, by me. Okay, so the question was... Oh, hang on a minute. Why isn't this working?
Oh,
there we go. Start off with something really simple. Who was the first person in outer space? Was it A, Neil Armstrong, B, John Glenn? Was it C, Yuri Gagarin, or was it D, Alan Shepard? Nice.
Well,
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. C,
Sorry,
obviously.
somebody give me a correct answer.
C, obviously.
Soviet Mac.
Soviet Mac.
Soviet Mac.
Yeah. There he is, Yuri Gagarin. For
the only Soviet in your list.
Question 2: what happened on Gagarin's return flight? You could argue that there's two answers to this, but really I'm looking for the perfect one. So was it A, was it a perfect re-entry? Was it B, an explosion? Or C, was it a crash landing as planned? Or was it D, a navigational error?
I would go with D, but you could say C.
Navigational error?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Or C, crash landing as planned? You said as well, you could be C.
Well, I'm not sure if it was planned, but that's what they say.
But for those of you who remember what the method was that they actually used, I can't actually see what's going on out in the chat at the moment.
C, says Fred Bailey. We're going, Nerd Alert reckons it's just all communist propaganda. And Clive says D. And
well, we didn't actually know how it was actually done until many years later.
Yeah, and Turing says A and D. Judy's gone C, okay. Brian's gone D. And
right. So. Okay, well, there was no navigational error. It certainly wasn't an explosion. Whether you can say it was a perfect re-entry is open to debate, but it was actually a planned crash landing. So Gagarin ejected from Vostok 1 and drifted safely to his parachute when the re-entry module crash landed. This landing went as planned, although the Soviets didn't reveal the details of the mission until quite a number of years later, how it was actually done. So yeah, he was ejected. Same method as like an aircraft ejection seat.
Right.
The hatch blew open and he was ejected out of the capsule.
Before
and then the capsule crash landed. Basically because they couldn't slow it down enough to do a soft landing. So they couldn't guarantee his safety. So that's why they did that. So yeah, there you go. I mean, whether it was a perfect re-entry is another matter. Don't know. I mean, like the apparently because of the spherical shape, the re-entry, literally the whole capsule tumbled. So it wasn't particularly controlled either. So whether you can say it's perfect re-entry, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, next question. What is the furthest humans have travelled from Earth? Is it A, 238,000 miles? Is it B, 248,000 miles? Is it C, 260,000 miles? Or was it D, 285,000 miles? To the nearest thousand.
Furthest I've travelled from Earth is about 50 centimetres, if I jump far enough. Yeah.
Notice the word travel.
Yes, no, that's all right. I'm working. So how far is the moon? Roughly
I think mostly within the first 3 of those.
Yeah, I'm working. It's obviously going on the backside of the moon. And
the best way to do it is to think about who.
Now, is this
rather than how?
Now, assuming this
and also why as well.
This is the distance from Earth to the human, not the distance they had to travel to get there.
No, what is the furthest humans have travelled from Earth? What's the furthest distance from Earth they actually gained? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm just checking.
Not the total distance travelled.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's the distance from Earth to the person, not the distance they travelled to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be essentially twice that, wouldn't it?
Well, it could actually be further than that, but that's okay.
Well, okay. Well, yeah.
I'm picking B.
The time to do.
I'm saying it's B. I'm going with B or C. I'm just trying to decide. I think I'm going to go with C.
B or C?
Picking B because it's just a little bit more than the average distance between the two.
Yeah. Good way of thinking about it. Yeah. Okay. Well, it was 248,000 miles. If you thought about it, like I said, crew of an Apollo 13 mission, because they had to do a free return trajectory, didn't they? Because of the problem they had on the way there. So they decided on a freeway trajectory, and that's how it ended up. So it's putting them 248,655 thousand miles to be exact.
Yeah. Nerd Alert, you weren't changing your answer.
Species ever travelled from their own planet.
I just got to check that. Just checking Nerd Alert didn't change his answer to B because Paul said it. But anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about 238,000 miles, and I think, well, okay, well, that's probably round about the average distance between the Earth and the Moon, right? So if you thought about who or why it happened, then you're gonna have to add on a little bit more to that.
Yeah.
260,000 or 285,000 was probably going to be a bit too much, maybe.
Too much, yeah. Oh, well, I was sort of thinking, yeah. Anyway, okay.
There we go. So that's question 3. So, question 4.
How much is it in furlongs?
How much is it in sheep units?
Furlong, fortnight, firkin.
So, what was special about the 1985 space shuttle flight by Jake Garn? Jake Garn. Was he A, the oldest person in space? Was he B, the first politician in space? Was he C, the youngest person in space? Or was it D, the first person of colour in space?
Jake
Garn.
Garn. He was gone to space. He was. Wouldn't he be? I'm pretty sure he wasn't the first person of colour in space. Definitely not the youngest in space. So I'm going with A or B.
A or B.
I reckon it'll be the first politician in space because it wouldn't have been the oldest. So
go with B. Anybody else got any other answers? B, first politician in space.
Because it's also such a strange thing to stick in that list that makes me think that it's that.
Anybody else got any other ideas? Or we could agree with Timbo? No?
No, they wouldn't have sent a politician to space unless they were planning to leave him there.
Well,
not a bad idea.
Just may have been a failed mission.
Oh, it was a very successful mission.
They
no doubt about that.
They were going to leave him here, but he made it back to Earth.
Right, okay. Well, it was actually the first politician in space. Edwin Jake Gamm was the first American politician, member of the Republican Party. He served as a United States Senator, representing Utah from 1974 to 1993. So he was a serving senator, and he flew on Space Shuttle Discovery, STS-51D for the nerds. So anybody know why?
My guess is
he got to go on a shuttle mission.
I was going to guess it's because they wanted a lot of either they didn't give the space stuff to his state and this is how they paid him off, or they were giving a lot of space stuff to his state and this is part of that payoff.
Well, you know, Matt, how they play practical jokes on the groom by putting him naked on a train and sending him to a faraway station on the night before his wedding, right? Well, perhaps he had an election.
A little bit too far.
Perhaps he had an election coming up, and his opposition wanted to get rid of him.
Good idea. Yeah, good thinking though. No, he simply asked. That's how he got aboard. He was actually on the committee. He headed the committee that dealt with NASA. So he said, "Can I go on a space shuttle mission?" And I said, "Okay." So he did. Simple as that. All right for some, isn't it? Because he headed up the subcommittee, the Senate committee to deal with NASA. He asked, so he did.
I was going to say, it's that he had all the control of the money, and he asked, "Oh, I go on a special." "Oh, yes, sir."
Yeah, exactly.
Say, sir.
Oh, of course you can. Of course
can we have
you
some
can.
more money?
Yes,
oh,
no
yeah,
problem.
Yeah, sure. It'll cost us a lot more to send you up. Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the story behind that one. Yeah, he just simply asked. That was it. Okay, what was the first object launched into space that was made by humans? Be careful how you think about how this question's worded. What was the first object launched into space that was made by humans? Was it A, Sputnik 1, B, Explorer 1? Go on.
It's easy.
C?
It's
C.
It's C.
C.
C, A4 rocket. Yeah, you're all saying C. Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, of course it's the A4 rocket, or otherwise known as the V2.
Yeah.
Launched on October the 3rd, 1942, German A4 rocket became the first object made by humans to reach the Kármán line. the official boundary between Earth's atmosphere and space, according to the Fédération Aérotechnique Internationale.
Yeah.
Do you like the way I said that? My French
Sputnik
accent.
was the first satellite in space, or the first.
Correct.
The first thing to circumnavigate the world.
To orbit the Earth,
world,
the Earth, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it wasn't the first one out there. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. What was the first spacecraft to reach the moon's surface? Okay, think about this again as well. What was the first spacecraft to reach the moon's surface? Was it A, Apollo 11 Eagle? Was it B, Luna 9? Was it C, Surveyor 1? Or was it D, Luna 2?
Well, if Luna 2 didn't make it, and then Luna 2 9, it could be one of the Lunas, or was it Surveyor 1?
No, it was one of the Lunas.
Thinking Luna 2, because I know Luna 1 didn't make it.
Yeah. So B or D. Depends if you think they had a lot of. I know they had a lot of failures trying to get there, so that's why I'm wondering if it was B.
Look at the word of the question. It says to reach the moon's surface.
Didn't have to make it in.
Not necessarily land. You can crash into it.
That's right, Blue. That's right.
So D maybe. Okay, let's go.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Soviet Union's Luna 2 became the first human-made object to reach the lunar surface when it impacted the moon on the 30th of September 1959. Yeah, Luna 1 missed altogether. Completely.
Well, it didn't miss. I think it exploded on launch, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting mixed. Maybe I'm getting mixed up with the other ones. Luna 9 was the first soft landing on the 3rd of February 1966, all by the Soviet Union. Yeah, correct.
Afraid not Fleetwood Mac still.
Oh, that's supposed to be. I think that's supposed to be question 7, but never mind. Who was the first woman in space? Was it A, Valentina Tereshkova? Was it B, Amelia Earhart? Was it C, Olga Kolbert? Or was it D, Sally Ride?
Surely Amelia Earhart.
Oh,
because that's why they couldn't find her. Surely so.
You could have made it a bit harder, Matt.
I could have done. But go on. What's the answer?
I mean, you could have at least picked. You could have at least picked some other female astronauts.
I think Blue's already answered it.
I didn't hear what you said.
Valentina.
Valentina, yes, of course it was. Yeah.
Blue said Valentina.
Yeah. Known for being the first woman in space, having flown a solo mission as well, don't forget, on the Vostok 6. On 16th of June 1963, she orbited the Earth 48 times, spent almost 3 days in space, and remains the only woman to have been on a solo space mission. And not been any female solo mission since.
Give you a clue, Matt. When you look out in the chat and you get everyone starting with Judy A, and A.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you. I thought you would have probably got this pretty much straight away. There you go. Right, guess the astronaut time. Who is this?
It is.
Oh,
G. Swaggart.
Damn it! No. I've used the wrong image. No, I photoshopped him out, but then I didn't re-upload that one on the first slide. Damn it. You look on the next slide. Look, I've photoshopped it out. It's gone. Bugger. Oh, that ruined that one. Oh, that was going to take up a little bit of time as well. Oh,
was it? Obviously not.
Yeah, so his official name was John Leonard. Unsuccessfully applied for NASA's second and third astronaut selections, who was accepted in NASA's astronaut group 5. He was the backup crew. This would have given it away if I hadn't left the label on there. He was the backup crew for the mission that was changed to the primary crew just 3 days before launch. This is one of the reasons why they had the backup crew and they did the exact same training behind the primary crew. And of course, the command module Apollo 13, it was Jack Swaggart. Of course, I cocked it up because I left his name tag on the first image.
Yeah, Darrow, Paul and I both know what it's like to stuff up a quiz.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I thought it was because I uploaded it first. I thought, oh, hang on, his name tag. I need to redo that one, but I forgot to delete it off the first slide and put the new one up. Oh, bugger! I thought I was being clever as well. Never mind. Not so clever. Okay, question 8: which astronaut became the president of an airline? Was it A, John Glenn? Was it B, Frank Borman? And was it C, Neil Armstrong? Or was it D, Gene Cernan?
Frank Borman.
Frank Gorman would have been my guess.
Yeah, we all say Frank Borman.
Blue said it before me.
Yeah.
American Airlines, I think.
No, it was actually Eastern Airlines.
Eastern Airlines.
Airlines. Frank Borman. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I had. But I would have done more if I wasn't crook. So sorry about
No,
that.
that's okay. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Nah, it's been good.
I'm putting aside my cock up.
Yeah, would have gone 5 minutes more.
That's your initiation into quizzes, Matt.
Yeah. Would you think you could have got it if I hadn't left his name tag on there?
Yeah. Of course.
Definitely not as quickly. Yes, definitely not as quickly.
Yeah, I'll do better next time.
So you've got a. I'm still waiting, Matt.
What?
Yeah. That's fair. Still waiting.
What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for?
Yeah.
A transfer. Oh, hang on. Gone funny.
What?
Sorry, it's gone funny. You can't see what's gone funny. There we go. See, I'm waiting still. Still waiting.
Oh, bugger.
Waiting. Still waiting.
Oh, yeah. He's still waiting. Yeah, I was crook and I forgot to cancel that one. I bet
it's June 17.
Yeah.
At 5 to 7, I'm thinking, still waiting.
You're still waiting?
Still waiting.
That's not the first time I've done that either. Not the first bloody time.
Yeah. Still waiting. Yeah, no, that's all right.
Thanks for telling me. Appreciate that because I might have still been waiting a week later.
Oh dear, what's on that?
Right,
Let me just
cancel that one. You're gonna see it disappear in a minute once I get to it.
Well, let's watch it disappear. Come on, see if you make it cancel on screen.
Remember how to do it now. Got where to go to do that. Oh well, I know. I need to actually go into managing it, don't I?
Yeah, you need to go into management.
Yeah.
I've got another one. I've got another obscure Flat Earth debunker to play in a sec. See if you can make it disappear.
Yeah, you might have to refresh once you do that. Though.
We'll see.
Delete forever. I understand deleting it. Yes, I do understand.
Apparently, Luna 1 missed the Earth. I mean, the Moon's surface by about 5,900 miles.
Oh, it did miss. Yeah, it did miss.
Yeah,
I thought it had. Yeah.
Was supposed to impact, but it missed because of an upper stage misburn.
There you go. Video no longer available.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think there was one of the lunar missions did blow up.
I think that was one of the rovers, the first rover that was sent. Yeah, it exploded on launch.
I like going through these old ones.
Hello everybody, welcome to Blue Marble Science, and welcome to Flat Earth Experiments episode number 1. Hey, what could possibly go wrong? Other than everything. Warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out the oven mitts, push the monitors back out of punching range.
What could possibly go
Gladys,
wrong?
Forget about the dumpster fire, let's just have some fun. Our first contestant will be Mr. Chris Berry. Duplicating the Cavendish experiment, which took Cavendish an entire year to do, Chris manages to pull it off in about 20 minutes. It's amazing! Well, what do we got here? Looks like a plastic level.
I remember this.
Suspended from a little piece of wire. Now, that's a trailer hitch ball, and it's attached to the level with some painter's tape. Well, whatever works.
Well, okay.
Hey, you're going to need some big weights, though. Those will be hard to find.
Ball.
Oh, you found some.
Kettleweights.
Kettleweights, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Let's see what happens. Hey, look, it's moving. Yes, we are successful. Or maybe not. Nope. It's going the other way. I know.
I know what the problem is. Let's move those mothers closer. I mean, like real close. Now this ought to do. Hey, look, it's moving. Look, we got it.
Look,
now we got it. Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah, crap. Did you remember to close the garage door?
Oh dear.
Alan! Al! Steve!
Well, that Cavendish guy must have been cheating. That's the only thing I can think of. Chris's conclusion? Well, the bar won't stop moving around, therefore the experiment doesn't work. Of course. Next up is contestant number 2, Brian's logic. He thinks he heard me say something I don't think I said, but let's listen anyway.
Randy, Blue Marble Science is in chat and he's calling us basically a crowd of idiots.
I didn't
Would
say
you mind
that.
if I just share my screen again just to address him there on what he said earlier today on Jose's?
Hey, I didn't call you guys idiots. She did.
Are we understanding each other?
Huh?
You're an idiot!
Yeah, sure. I mean, no, I don't. Has he got a channel, this Blue Marble guy?
Has he got a channel? Huh?
Yeah, it's the.
Ah, tell me you know Blue Marble. Come on, he's the guy with the pipe, which isn't a container.
Oh, is that the guy? Right, okay. Yeah, I wasn't even aware that he had a proper channel. I thought it was just... I thought he was a lunatic,
a proper
actually,
channel.
putting
Okay.
that video out.
Oh, Blue,
According
you
to
got
him,
a
we're
proper
a
channel, Blue?
idiots, in the chat there. So I just want to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to share and just show that olive jar again, if that's okay. Okay?
Yeah, you're sharing now, yeah. Go ahead.
We should have had Ranty on
showing
for this.
unless I
Yeah, no.
okay. Okay, this is for you, Blue Marble Science.
Would have had a good laugh at it.
Today on Jose's, the bit I listened to, you claimed that you did not understand why you could see more things with a higher camera angle than a lower camera angle.
I never
Now
said
here
that.
is a jar of olives that's obviously bigger than a thing of pepper. Okay, it's like paprika or something like that in the orange. Now the olive jar is obviously bigger. Now I'm going to show you that by changing the position of the jar of olives and changing my camera height.
Hold, Ranty. Right. Yeah, you didn't have him on present.
Oh, good, Arwen.
I did.
You do now.
Okay.
Or there's a huge delay on YouTube. That could be as well.
There is a delay.
Yes,
All right.
30 seconds.
They'll
that's a lot.
hear it anyway. as it's-
Anyway, continue. Sorry for the interruption.
It's
No.
for swearing.
Hey,
No, you did the right thing, Aaron.
you drop in anytime you want to,
This
Arwen.
is for Blue Marble Science, who's calling us a crowd of idiots,
Blue
basically.
Marble.
He's
So
saying we're
look at
like a
the
crowd of
subtitles.
children or something listening to it. It's something like it's like listening to a crowd of children. That's what he said.
Well, if you really want to know what I said listening to you guys was like listening to a bunch of 5-year-olds trying to explain where babies come from.
In the side chat. Today on Jose's Blue Marble Science stated.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the subtitles because it's having trouble understanding them. Some of them.
Yeah.
So that's in the side chat as the Indian soldier.
That he did not
Indian
understand
soldier
how
today.
just because camera height is lower, that we should see less stuff, and stuff should disappear from the bottom.
Nope.
On a
Didn't
flat
say
Earth,
that.
Okay. He didn't understand how that could happen. Referencing the observation that was made of the two platforms, that has been the Black Swan observation, the talking point of the week. So here is a jar of olives on the
boy,
left,
talking
and I think
point
a
of the week.
paprika on the right. The olives is obviously a bigger.
I don't
bigger,
think Nathan's going to be
jar,
happy
takes
about
up more
that.
space. You can see the floor, totally not normal, just a normal floor, no big curves or anything on it. Okay. Now I'm going to just change my camera height and the position of the jar of olives. It looks like the jar of olives, the bottom of it has disappeared due to diffraction.
No, it doesn't.
The diffraction limit had caused the bottom
Nothing
of it to start
disappeared.
disappearing, and it seems to be sinking into the floor. There it is, occultated.
Is it?
No,
There it is again. Sinking
Still there.
backwards down to the floor as if it's going over the curve. This is what you're talking about, Blue Marble Science. And you're
No.
calling me and the other people on this panel idiots.
Are we understanding each other? You're an idiot!
And you don't even understand this.
You want to bet?
Is that gone over the curve? Blue Marble Science, can you come in and answer that? Is that gone over the court?
Well, I don't think it's gone anywhere. Here's a close-up when you had the olive bottle closer to you. Let's put some red lines on there at the top and the bottom of the bottle and a couple at the label just so we can keep things registered. Now let's superimpose a view after you move the olive bottle back to the back and see what we have. Top of the bottle lines up, the label lines up, and the bottom of the bottle has not disappeared. No, it didn't go over the curve. No, it didn't disappear. And no, it doesn't appear to be sinking into the table. You know, I know what the problem is, and I know just the guy that can explain this to you.
Okay, one last time. These are small.
Small?
But the ones out there are far away.
Far away.
Small, far away. I forget it.
Well, let's move on to contestant number 3. It's Chris Berry again. He didn't do so well with the Cavendish experiment, so let's give him another try, shall we? So now Chris is going to show us that spraying ice water in front of a stick will not result in any refraction whatsoever. Apparently, we're having a hard time understanding the difference in a few inches of atmosphere versus a few miles of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Half the fact he's probably making his whatever he's got there.
Just need a lot of water, that's all.
I like that laugh.
It's going to take more water. Is that water cold? Maybe it's not cold enough. Well, let's just put some ice on it. See? Nothing works. No reflection.
You're making a cushion wet, Chris. That's going to make a difference.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Oh,
Flat
dear.
Earth experiments at their finest. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. There's a link to the Patreon. We'll have it listed in the description also. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey, Gladys. We're out of here.
Alan! 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 Al! Alan! Alan! Alan!
Alan!
Alan! Alan!
Dave!
Alan!
Steve! Steve!
Dave!
Enough of that already.
Stop waking me up.
I was going to say, Paul, I might do your other quiz if that's okay.
Sure, you can do that.
Getting to the closer to the end. Make sure we fit that in.
That's fun, that was.
When that was fun, that was a good one. Oh, I thought that was a good one. Enjoyed that one.
Oh, what song is that? Oh, that one again.
Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, I can see it. Sorry. Yes, this is.
Make sure you take a good look at the
screenshot.
title screen. All
Do you
the
wanna-
featured bands tonight are there.
Do you want a
Some
second
of them I know.
to? Do you want a second to screenshot that, Matt?
No, you
That's
could.
what. No, that's what Farmers does.
Farmers Boy does.
Well, actually,
yeah.
no. Okay. Well, come. Now you mention it. Okay, I will. Hold on.
That's
Now you
Farmers,
mention it.
Farmers says, "Oh yes, we've had that one. We've had that one. So it must be this one."
There's some obscure ones here, but there's some easy ones here tonight as well. Tell me
Right,
when you're
okay.
ready to move on.
Yeah, I've done that.
I'm
yeah.
ready.
No, I can tell you, Noodler, none of the answers are Fleetwood
Mac.
No Fleetwood Mac in this at all. Not a bit. I lost my mouse. All right, you ready to go?
Yep, go for it.
Let's go.
First one.
ow, or out.
Flying.
O. It's
Oh, we've got the next one already.
yes. Oh, baby, do you know what this? What? The one? Oh, honey. No, that doesn't fit. Is of.
Okay, Brian Stevens, what you've got to do is you've got to guess which band and which song. I give you increasing numbers of letters as the clue goes past. You've got to fill in and tell me these are either the first two lines or the first two lines of the chorus or the verse, and you've got to tell me what song and what band.
Buddy Holly could be.
So at the moment, you've got every first letter of every word. You'll now get the last letters of each word too.
Yeah, so baby, do you know what this... Oh, why can't I think that...
I know what the second line is.
Oh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Oh. Heaven is a place on earth.
Place on earth.
That's,
right.
Who was it? Is
that
the girl?
That's
I've forgotten her name. Oh, what is it?
What's the name?
Heaven is a place on earth. Oh, what's the name?
There you go. Clive Wells comes in with the singer.
Belinda Carlisle. That's
Belinda
it.
Carlisle.
Yeah. I was thinking of Cyndi Lauper for a minute, but yeah.
No. Yeah. All right. Next one.
Whether it's and to the
Could be any number of things.
Any, I don't know. It's a question at the end. No.
Okay.
And this join your. What's gonna do? What's and.
Yeah, heaven is a place on Flurf.
Yeah, but I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, it's not the Blues Brothers one. Or is it? No. Okay. That junk? Oh, that's... Is it junk? Isn't your drunk in the trunk? Your trunk? I'm sort of guessing what the... What are you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk. Something or other you... I'm assuming it's in your trunk.
Yeah, we're getting some of the lines out there. Here's a picture of the clue.
So it's something like going to be watch her or watch you. I'm guessing it's my humps. It's a line from my humps, my lady humps.
Yeah.
I'm only guessing that because what other song would have that? I don't know who did that. I have no idea who did that. I'll have to look it up. Oh, I know who it is. I've just typed it in. So now I know. It's got something to do with the colour of their dinner. Yeah, Black Eyed Peas.
There you go.
Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So we've got Nerd Alert and Clive teaming up out there. Nerd getting the song titles and Clive getting the artists. Well done. Black Eyed Peas, my humps. Yeah. All right. You get 4 lines.
Oh, Jesus wept. Christ alive.
I
That doesn't help. Timbo. That's no
Something.
I never said it did.
Something. Yeah, there you go.
Something.
Ooh, 40. Something 40 of.
Think of an oldie. This is an oldie.
I use
Star Trek and Bother Firm. No.
Fan Anna. I get
Star Trekking
something now. On
this is a bit of a tough one.
Me for I work 47 months of 47 miles of braided wire, barbed wire. I use just a sub there for something. I got a brand new horse on the something farm. I can get words. It's not making any sense to me though. It's always a couple of
That's because you haven't got all the right words.
Yeah, I know. I figure that.
Oh dear. This is a hard one.
So I'm guessing it's I work 47
I don't even know who that is. I have no
Not
idea.
George Thorogood.
47 miles. No, I work 47. 47.
All right, I'll give you all of the words. I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I use a cobra snake for a necktie. I've got a brand new house on the roadside made from rattlesnake hide. There you go.
I know who it is because I looked it up.
During
but
test 2.
Oh.
It's got the song and
Bo
the title.
Diddley.
Title and the artist. Bo Diddley with Who Do You Love? Yeah. Well done. Okay, next one.
Who do you love? Sorry, just in case anyone's trying to work out what that sounded like. Ooh, everything. Everything. I'm guessing everything. It's in. It's. I can go one for a.
It's again, this is a blast from the past.
It's not everything then. It's going a corner. Going from further than racing. Right, no, it's not racing. Going
Multi Tom Tom's Flat Earth rap. Nerd alert says.
I think it's gone further than every single day.
Come on.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure farmers.
Not getting it?
for sure farmers are
No.
screaming down the phone at us. No. I'm trying to work out the first one, and I think
Just,
I
I'm
every
just giving
day.
the peanuts a chance.
Is it every day? It's I get the feeling this should be obvious. I get the feeling it's an easy one.
I haven't got a clue.
No, got no
Yeah.
idea. Once I
No.
give you the words, you'll know who it is.
I can sort of hear it in my head, but I just
Colder.
can't get the words.
Well, it is here in Australia getting colder every day and into winter, but cold is not the right word. No.
Every day it's getting colder, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like this will surely come my way.
Who?
Hey,
Yeah.
hey. That's the song. That's
There
Buddy
you
Holly.
go.
Buddy
Clive
Holly.
Wells with the artist,
Yeah.
Buddy Holly. Yeah.
Oh, Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
This is a classic I haven't heard for a while.
I'll from to going up the something or other. Bring you. Want to go with you? But first, doing you no. You up no. Going up the county. I'm going up the county. Busy. Don't you want to go?
There you go.
Billy.
Dave Cannabis comes through with this
Heat.
one.
Oh,
Well
right.
done.
Canned Heat.
Going up the country. Baby, do you want to go?
I don't know that one. Is that
Like,
what it's called?
No, I don't know that either.
Canned Heat.
Hang on a sec.
Oh,
It's Canned
okay.
Heat, the people who played it, or the...
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So what's the name of the song?
Going up the country.
Going up the country, as it says on the screen.
Baby, do
Oh,
you
it just wasn't-
want to go?
Hang on a sec.
Not their biggest hit.
No.
Hang on, I'll play the few seconds. That one.
Never heard
You
any.
reckon? Sorry?
Can't hear it.
Oh, you can't,
Can't hear it.
Why can't you hear that? Hang on.
Music doesn't translate well through. So.
Oh, interesting. You should be able to hear that. Doesn't matter.
Barely.
Barely?
Anyway, next
Doesn't matter.
one. This one's a hard one. So I'll give you the second clue straight away. I want to buy the. Are you still there?
Sorry, I am talking.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah,
you can't see me. I had my mic.
Everyone's
mute.
gone silent.
I had my mic mute. So in your mind, you have something rather, to trying to think of a word that ends in H, starts with T. Mr. The vast unknown is what I think is the last word.
Mm-hmm.
To
By this person. Who is that?
I don't know.
I haven't got a clue.
My mum. No, I'm joking. I
Your
don't
mum.
do that.
Famous mum. In your mind, you have. To. I can hear where it's like travel, but I can't. That's two T words are just bugging me.
Well, there you go. There's the
Telepath
words. Now,
messages through
who
the
sang
vast-
it and what's it called?
Oh, I know the song. What's it called? It's not Rocket Man.
Clive
It's-
Wells comes through with the artist again.
Yeah,
Well
Karen
done,
Carpenter.
Clive.
Carpenter. There you go.
Karen
the
Carpenter.
song.
Yeah.
Why is the song? It's about not the spaceman, but being able to send messages to the space person. Oh, what's that song?
It's good. Yeah. Calling
Oh.
occupants of interplanetary
Yeah.
craft.
That's the one. I just couldn't get the first.
Of interplanetary, most extraordinary craft.
Yeah. I had the tune running through my head, but I just couldn't get the first words out.
Yeah. All right. Next.
She's I think that she's something rather to. She's a something rather to something rather in on. She's on
Karen Carpenter, she had a lot of problems, didn't she?
in her own. Three-letter word met. She'll is you. We was you something or other. Knew was you gonna do. Now what you gonna do? It's the last line. She's the electric. The assume that end of in the electric. In her own mud mine. She's in. It's just sitting there, but it's not coming out.
Yeah, you're on the right track, Nerd Alert.
Yeah, lyrics. What's Nerd Alert said?
Nerd Alert's got it.
Which?
Her own mad mind. Yeah, I got that bit. So she's.
Come on, Nerd Alert. Who sang it?
Now what you gonna do?
He's got all the words.
Her own mad. She's in her love with you. Now what are you gonna do?
It's the electric one that's getting me. So electric blue. She's a witch
Who
of
was
trouble
it?
in the
Who was
electric
it?
brew.
Is it going to be Clive or is it going to be Nerd Alert? Oh,
Fleetwood Mac.
you let us down, Clive.
Go on, Clive.
Come on.
I mean, the lyrics do ring bells, but I just cannot
Not
think.
Fleetwood Mac.
It's
It's
cream.
Nice House.
Cream.
Come on.
Cream?
It's what?
Cream?
Yeah, it is indeed. Well done.
Hmm.
It is cream with strange brew. Okay. Next one. Back to a more modern era. Yeah.
Who we got left? Where's the mail?
You haven't added any more letters in the second lot. This is that copy.
Oh, I haven't either. Wow.
That's tricky.
Well, you got more letters than you were supposed to in the first lot then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give you another lot then.
Something rather deep. Indigo? No, not indigo. Irene. Deep. Incense. Got a hand. Got a hand. Get a hand on you. Got a hand on you. And it's pushing me away. She's.
Away? Are you sure about that?
No.
Pushing me away? I don't think so.
Well, I'm pushing me.
It's spelling's optional. It's Timbo. You know.
Yeah.
It's
called
creative
spelling.
Away. That's how I'd spell away. Away. Yeah, that's how you spell away, isn't it? Right? That's right.
Away with an E at the end. Okay. New way of spelling away.
Yeah.
Nerdler's got it.
It's the olden version of away.
Yeah.
And she's something or other on farmers. I don't know what she's doing with farmers. He's not here. And it's pushing me. I'm guessing it's pushing me away.
Pushing me away. Come on, what comes after pushing me?
Away, obviously. But
I mean, if you don't like something, what do? You push it? Oh, come on.
Come on, somebody else. Because obviously, mine's correct. The last line's not fitting with me either. It? No, it can't be she's it.
Yeah, Clive Wells has the artist.
Crowded house.
Yeah.
Aside. Pushing me aside.
I don't know anything about
that makes
Crowded
more
House.
sense, doesn't it, Timbo? Rather
It does. Well, no, away was a better word, but it's okay. It didn't fit. She's. I don't get the last one. She's it stretch on. See it stretch on forever. That makes more sense. Yeah.
It does.
Somewhere deep inside, something's got a
what's the
hold
song?
on you.
What's the
And
song
she's
called?
pushing me aside. I don't know.
Anyone know?
Come on, Matt. You need to tell me.
I honestly don't know. No,
You
I've
don't
no
know?
idea.
Wow.
No, I don't know anything about Crowded House at all.
Okay.
No clue. No clue.
They're quite a good band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard. I know of
Were.
them, but I don't know anything about them.
Not Private Universe, no.
No clue.
It's Crowded
It's
House.
better
with
be home
soon.
Yeah.
Better be home soon. Yeah. I thought the clue would have given it, eh? Tim's coming home soon.
Tim's coming home soon.
Come
I don't know what the
on.
raccoons. I don't know what the raccoons got to do with me.
All right.
Baby, doing loving me. Don't loving me. Don't leave me. Something or other. Don't leave me and by myself. Don't leave me.
Brian Stevens, you've never heard of Crowded House? Wow.
The Crowded House, no. That's a bit sad. I've heard of him. I've even heard that song. So baby, don't leave me is my first guess. Don't leave me. And then after that, Al. Ooh. Is it a Supreme song? No.
Is it what?
A Supreme song?
It is.
Baby, baby, don't leave me.
Yeah. Where did our love go? Is that the name of that song?
Yeah. There you go. Turing Test 2. Out with it.
Oh, he got it too.
Yeah.
Okay, well done, Turing.
Yeah.
You would have got it
Diana
before
Ross. Diana Ross and the Supremes. Baby, baby, don't leave me. Ooh, please don't leave me all by myself. Yeah. Where did our love go? By Diana Ross and the Supremes. All right. I think this is the last one.
Has he, her...
So all you need to do is go back to your title screen and eliminate all the ones you already have. And the one that's left is this song.
Yeah, but that assumes you know who they all are.
Well, we've done that one. We've done that one. So we've done Diana Ross. Ooh.
Blues
Have
Brothers.
we done that guy? I don't think we've done that guy. Have we done the Blues Brothers one yet? No. So is it the Blues Brothers one?
That was Bo Diddley.
Oh, Bo Diddley. Oh, okay.
Bo Diddley
we
was
did
the
that
one.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's that word? You don't me come. I yes. How can you see into my eyes? Love and love, no eyes. Loving you down into my
There you go, Brian Stevens. If you only have time for background music, Crowded House is excellent background music.
Yes. Loving you down into my, and it's not soul, into my, how can you see into my eyes? Loving, love,
There you go. Turing
Evidence.
Test 2. You've done it. Yes.
Yeah, how can you see?
Turing Test 2. Yeah. Evanescence. Bring me to life.
I don't know that one off the top of my head. What's that one sound like?
There you go, Timbo.
Oh, there you go.
If I've done anything, I've introduced you to some new music, right?
You have. Evanescence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, thanks for that, Paul.
Well, there you go.
It was good.
That's your music quiz for tonight. There you go.
Yeah, we might finish off with that one, I think. Thanks very much for that.
You're welcome.
I think we're gone well past, well, not well past, it's 7 minutes past midnight.
That's all right. I can sleep in tomorrow. I don't have to feed ducks tomorrow morning. So.
Nah, but I think we've covered all the important things I've got on my list. I don't think anything else is overly important. I was going to put up Blartek because he annoys me.
No, please don't.
Yeah, no, I won't put up Blartek. He was on Toon's show. He's one of the more irritating guys, flat earthers out there. He brings absolutely nothing to the table. Okay, thanks for out there, Peanuts. We'll convene again on Wednesday. Wednesday's show will probably not be as formalised as we have here. We'll just turn up and see what happens, I think. Probably will have a quiz. I'll make sure we've got something to do. But we might...
You only have something on Wednesday if there's something specific you wanted to talk about, perhaps, or something.
Oh, well, I might run a stream, but, you know, it might be half an hour, might be 3 hours. Depends on what we've got to say.
What happens.
Yeah.
We'll just see what goes on.
I see PH Tony's just dropped another video.
Oh, has he? Oh.
All right.
Might be something to
couple of hours
do on
ago.
Might be something to do next week. Next Wednesday.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
Lies
Okay.
lies that Flurfs tell. Episode 2.
2, yes.
Plum
I've said
limes. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. I've said that a few times. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I was hoping he'd get it out in time to do it tonight, but it didn't happen. That's okay. That's why we had the other one. Now, I've got to find the right button to push.
And don't forget, Peanuts, according to the Flurfers, that things get farther as they move away.
Surely not.
Hey, yeah, they do. Oh
dear.
Say goodnight, Peanuts. To the Peanuts.
Good night,
Good night,
Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Okay. See you guys.